Jay Crawford, Adam the Bull, Garrett Bush, and so many big names, it would take me hours to say all of their names. The ultimate Cleveland sports show. Booyah!
The Yankees are down 0-2.
Yankees lost. That's great.
Yeah.
I know we shouldn't care about that. It's petty.
No, we should absolutely care about that.
It's a beautiful thing.
Bleep the Yankees. Bleep the Yankees.
Right here. I hope someone from Houston does that this year, too, but they likely won't.
Do you guys know where that started, by the way? Because it wasn't Naylor. Like, do you know who's the original Baby Rock?
Serrano.
I don't know.
No,
I
not
thought
Serrano.
it wasn't Major League. He did that Major League.
Pedro
Well,
Serrano did it.
Russell Westbrook did that back in 2010.
Westbrook.
Well, he stole it from Serrano.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know Serrano, but I know that as the Russell Westbrook.
You never saw Major League?
You didn't watch Major League?
I've never seen Major League.
Here's your homework for the weekend.
No, my parents are here. I got to do it next week.
Oh,
what time do they leave? Sunday night?
So my
What'd
parents
you say?
are here.
What time do they leave? Sunday night or Monday?
Sunday night.
That's a good sign.
Sunday night.
That's the way your daughter.
Watch Major League.
Wait a second. Wait a
I
second.
know, I'm
We have to
stunned.
acknowledge that a man who moved to Cleveland to get a job in sports 6 months ago, more than that at this point,
Has never
has
seen
not
Major
watched.
League.
That is the ultimate Cleveland failure.
It should
right
be
there.
an interview question.
That's embarrassing.
Like, do you want this job? Yes.
Well,
are you
the job wasn't
qualified?
originally in
Yes.
Cleveland, so it wasn't on the
But when they
application.
found out it was Cleveland, they should have said, "Have you seen Major League?" No. You have 24 hours to watch it, or you're not under consideration.
And by the way, even if you didn't move to Cleveland, who hasn't seen Major
I
League?
know.
Hold up. Can I defend myself real quick?
Yeah.
And
No,
this is
go
not a
ahead.
good defense. And you
He's
know what?
only
Next
14.
Next
So.
week, we will have a full Major League movie review. How about we do a movie review next week?
I ain't doing no
will
movie
watch
review.
it.
Let's do it.
There's no Browns game on Sunday. It's a Monday.
Right.
So we have an extra day
Mikey,
of content.
Yes.
Mikey, can I tell you this?
Please.
That's an excellent son answer. I can't do it this weekend. My parents are in town.
No, that's great. That's a great.
beautiful.
It's the only excuse you'll have
Gee,
for
that's
not
Well,
watching
no,
it this
my
weekend.
parents also play into this. When I was a kid,
Beautiful it is.
there's
That's
a
beautiful.
lot of old movies I haven't seen. Like
It's
really.
not old. It's not that old.
It's
My
old to him.
parents are in town.
It was
I
before
can't
he was
do it.
born.
We got 1 hour of TV a night growing up, and it was usually watching the Yankee game or the Nets game or whatever.
Mike,
You were raised right,
We
man.
just
parents
keep
made us
being a
go
good
outside
son,
and
Mike.
play outside.
You were raised right.
You can't watch the Yankee game or the
Be a
Nets game
good
in an
kid,
hour,
Mikey.
though.
No, that's what I'm saying. It was like that was our. We didn't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a lot of old stuff that people are like, oh, you've never seen this movie.
Yeah.
That's embarrassing.
I didn't have an Xbox. I didn't get a
Well,
phone until I
you've
was
been
like
an adult
16.
on your own now
Come on
for 6
now.
months at least.
Oh, look,
Yeah, listen, 6 months. I will watch it. We will next.
All right.
Let's pick a day. Well, we have Jim Tressel Tuesday and Mayor Bibb on Wednesday, so maybe Thursday.
Oh,
Do Thursday.
That was
do
Major League
Thursday.
2 also.
see,
Yeah, Major League 2 didn't do it for
It's
me.
not as good, but I
Yeah.
feel like you have to watch it.
We'll do a Major League review on Thursday.
Okay,
we'll
that's
spend the last
fair.
15 minutes of the show on doing that.
I love this. Like, there's movies, sometimes white people can do this, right? White people do that. Like, they be like, oh, yeah, did you see that one movie, Trading Spaces? It has, like, and they'll go down the list of all of the producers, all of the main guys. Yeah, like, I saw that just has, that's John Candy and Beverly Patrick. Yeah, she played in Twin Peaks. You're like, whoa. No, I don't know those.
That's a white people thing.
That is huge.
I don't think that's a white people
It
thing.
is, but our movies are different. Like y'all got prerequisite readings. We got prerequisite readings.
Yeah.
Listen, if you ain't seen Boys in the Hood,
Oh.
Well,
I've seen Boys
that's
in the Hood.
everybody has seen Boys in the
coming.
Hood.
okay.
I've seen Boys in the
Look,
That's
Hood.
not a good example.
What else?
Have you seen Juice?
I've seen
Yeah,
Juice.
that's a better example
Okay.
because I think
But I've seen Juice.
I have too, but I
Go
bet
back
fewer
in the-
people
Go
have.
back in the day.
Yeah.
Have you seen Car Wash?
Oh,
Yeah,
look,
now
look,
that
I have seen Car Wash.
and back in the day,
Look,
I've seen Car
Blazing
Wash.
Saddles.
or,
course Blazing
Saddles, that's
Saddles.
amazing.
or they be like, get out the room. I say, why? Because Dolomite coming on.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? Right now,
I have not seen
McNuggets.
Dolomite.
Right now, McNuggets is going.
What?
Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Never
Out
heard of
of
it.
all of them, I have not seen.
Have you seen Have you seen Blazing Saddles?
No.
Oh man.
Favorite scene is when the horse gets dropped.
But my mom and them had it on a repeat.
That was
I've never watched
that's
it from start to
That
finish.
movie still is funny.
I
to this day.
was just having a discussion with somebody the other day about Blazing Saddles. We were quoting line for line.
If you can't laugh at that movie, you're dead.
That movie's
You have no
hilarious.
sense of humor.
McNuggets, we should do one day a top 5 of movies that if you catch it halfway through,
You have to
you
keep
go
watching
watch
it.
it.
Yeah.
You go
There's
watch
an
that.
automatic.
Mine's Hangover. No matter where I
Love
come into Hangover,
Hangover.
I'm like, I'm in
G.
now.
Bush, what's yours?
I'm
Let's
in.
go around the horn real quick.
Malcolm X with Denzel.
Yeah.
Listen, oh Lord.
I have a lot. I have more than 5 movies that are like that.
My
but-
classic, Richard Pryor, which way is up?
Oh, Richard Pryor was unbelievable.
Hey,
Well, what's yours?
I mean, I have so many, but I would say Shawshank Redemption is kind of the first one.
another
That's on the list for me, and
just
so is
another one.
Drumline.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just saw
Drumline was great.
I
Drumline
just saw it
is-
about
you
a
can
month
pick
ago.
up Drumline from
Which
the
one?
last 10
Drumline.
minutes. Drumline with Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
Doesn't
I've
matter.
actually
It's
not seen
always
that.
on. You've never seen that one, Bull?
I've not seen Drumline.
Yeah, you got to check that
On
out.
Thursday, we'll do a Drumline Major League.
You watch Drumline.
What's yours?
You watch
Yes.
Major League.
What's yours?
Hangover.
Oh,
no question.
I love the Hangover.
Hangover.
Oh, listen.
I mean, no matter where I come in, even
Yeah.
if it's like just before the wedding,
Yeah.
I
You
have
just-
to
you
watch.
just like- you
just
post
for the last scene
Yeah.
with the cameras when they figure out they kind of fill in
Right,
the
they
blanks
see all
of
the
the night.
changes.
I give you one.
That was
Here,
great.
I get Weekend at Bernie's.
That's another
I
good
haven't seen that in forever.
Yeah, I haven't either, but it holds. It definitely
Bernie's.
holds.
By the way, have any of you ever seen Major League 3 Back to the Minors?
No.
No,
no.
I don't know that anybody has.
Okay, I saw
That's
this.
straight to DVD.
It's not even the Indians anymore. Scott Bakula plays the manager of I think they're the Salt Lake City Bees or something.
No.
Which would have been the Indians AAA or
No,
something?
it wasn't even the Indians. It was they were all of a sudden it was about the Twins because they end up playing the Major League Twins in the game But Serrano and
Wesley Snipes?
No, Wesley Snipes wasn't even in Major League 2. Remember they replaced
Yeah,
him
that's
with
right.
Omar Epps, I think.
Yeah, Omar Epps, you're right.
But see, there you go. but the guy who was Japanese, the Japanese guy from Major League 2.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
I don't know
But I know who you're
guy.
talking about, but I don't know
he's
his
in
name.
this one with
But
Serrano.
none of the other guys.
But
like
no, the
Sheen
rest of it is
wasn't
all
in it.
No. The rest of it is
Yeah.
all new guys.
At some point, you got to stop the bake sale. You know?
Yeah.
I know you guys
will
want the
admit,
money.
It's kind of terrible, but I still like it. It's hard for me not to like a
They
baseball
going back-
movie.
Yeah, me too.
They're talking about making a remake of White Men Can't Jump. Don't touch that.
They are doing it. They are making
A
a remake.
remake or a sequel?
No, I think it's a remake.
It's a
Don't-
remake, and I
don't
have
touch
seen
it.
that movie, and it's a good movie.
That's a great movie.
Don't touch that.
If you hadn't seen
That's
that
a-
movie,
I
you're
don't
a
like the
basketball
remake
player.
of that.
That's
I
a
agree.
classic.
New content when we have our little memberships, we'll come out and we'll do a movie review together.
You can't do shit. You can't.
We're gonna go to Jay's theater in his basement
And watch a movie.
and
Yes.
watch a movie and do a review and be like, hey,
Immediately
man.
when it's over.
Right,
Yes.
and to give you our thoughts.
All right, busy show. Pre-written headlines. We love those.
And
Yes.
these are
I'm the champ in that.
You
I'm
are
not
the
the
champ.
champ at anything, but I am the
you are the
defending
champ,
champ.
and let me
did
tell
win
you,
that.
Defending
we
champ.
got these in
Yeah.
early this week. Anthony outdid himself on a couple.
Really?
Outdid
Nice,
himself.
All right, so that's the incentive
Anthony.
for everybody to get them in by like Tuesday or Wednesday. Anthony does the graphics and the layout of the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show Press or whatever our paper
The
is called.
UCSS Times.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
like
DeQuell Jackson's going to join us. I just found out today. DeQuell every day comes on, or every Friday comes on at 11:30. McNuggets told us on our morning call this morning that he's always on at the beginning of the show on Friday just to watch. He watched. He chimed in yesterday in the chat.
Yeah.
Like,
Love it.
What a great
He's
guy.
part of the team.
This dude is like. I was talking. My mom called me. You know, she thinks we're friends. She would call me and she said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Man, I'm on the phone. I'll call you back." She was like, "Who you on the phone with?" I was like, "I'm on the phone with DeQuell." She was like, "What? Why he calling you?"
you are coworkers.
I said, "That's my guy." She said, "Man, I don't know, bro. He has nothing to talk to you about." And she was like, "How cool is that?" Like your mom, she like, "Dang, that's crazy." Like
Yeah.
DeQuell just called you and you
Yeah.
talk to him. I said, "Man, he cool guy, man."
DeQuell, call me. DeQuell. I don't get a call.
Hey, man, listen.
What the hell?
Can I share a DeQuell story real quick? Do we
Sure.
got
I'm
30 seconds?
insulted.
He's
So-
calling me.
Love
numbers,
DeQuell
too.
stories.
See?
Yeah, he's not on yet, but
Yeah.
I'll tell him. He usually hops on. As soon as he hops on, I'll let y'all know. But the week of the Carolina game, I had to miss my friend's wedding. It was the first game. We had the post-game show. I had a wedding the following week. I didn't
You have a
want
wedding
to take
every
too
week.
much off.
He really
Every
does.
week.
Have
you
you
go to a
noticed
wedding.
that? Have you noticed
But
that?
I couldn't make this one. It was. I had to fly. It was really expensive. Yada yada.
Yada.
My buddy watches the show every week, and DeQuell was his favorite. So I texted DeQuell. I said, DeQuell, I got a question for you. If you don't want to do it, by all means, like, don't do it. Would you mind just filming like a 10-second selfie video, just wishing my buddy and his
That's
wife
awesome.
a happy marriage? He's like, yeah, I got you. I'm like, I promise. Like, you don't have to. He's like, no, I got you. Did like a whole minute, and it was awesome. I sent it to my friend. He said it didn't make his wedding. I would never admit that, but it was like the best present he got. And DeQuell didn't have to do it. Just genuinely the coolest, nicest dude
Yeah.
that we've
That's
kind of
cool.
come
It
across.
made his wedding a hell of a lot better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
be there,
great.
but DeQuell Jackson was there. So
Yeah, that's great. That's probably a win for your friend.
DeQuell's way better than
I'll
me.
trade this video for Mikey being here.
Absolutely.
Next time I get in trouble with my wife, I'm gonna have DeQuell call her. Hey, listen, G. Bush, sorry. Listen, baby, it was his fault. It was
He
his
goes
fault.
in the video. He goes, "Hey, just remember, Happy wife, happy life.
That's the best advice you can give on a wedding day.
Laugh I ever heard. I'll show you the video after the show.
Did he start it turning around in his leather chair?
That's fine.
He
was in the pool, so
In the pool?
Even better.
he was flexing on us.
Even better. Tyvis Powell also going to join us on the program. Did Ty do a headline or no?
Yeah.
So
it's one of my favorites. As far as the picture goes, I don't love the headline.
His headline is JG, Bull, and Jason rob his title.
Yeah.
By not letting him play
He's
in the
coming on
game.
later.
He's
at
angry.
the end of the show, he's coming on. He is hot that I accused him of cheating yesterday. And he should be. That is a very, very, very slippery slope. You don't want to accuse a guy cheating.
No.
But 7-1, Ty, come on. Come on.
He got it like them bass fishers. Let me find out you got iron balls.
Got him like a fish, and the lead balls come pouring out.
Had the weights
We want to see your search history.
Browsing data.
Bring in that computer.
All right. We're starting today, though. We kind of went down this road yesterday, and then we took a side tangent, which happens all the time on the show.
That's true.
We do this every week for the Browns' opponent. We look at their offense versus their opponent's defense, and their defense versus their opponent's offense, and that's what we're focusing on today. The Browns' defense versus the Ravens' offense. And the numbers are terrifying. The Ravens, it doesn't seem like they've been as efficient this year on offense. They haven't. They're still ranked 9th in yards per game, 5th in points per game. So this is an explosive offense. The Browns' defense, not good. 23 out of 32 in yards per game, 30th in the league in points per game.
Ooh.
How the hell did they stop Lamar?
It's an interesting offense to deal with because they really have nobody at wide receiver.
They don't.
Their best wide receiver is Rashad Bateman. He's been hurt.
Well, they have a tight end.
But that's what I was going to say. Their best wide receiver by far, not even close, is their tight end, who, along with Travis Kelce, is one of the 2 best tight ends in the league. He is an elite player, all-pro caliber player. He's great. So, like, in a way, I wonder, do you almost should you treat Mark Andrews as a wide receiver? Like, should you put a corner on him? But can you even do that?
Well, that's such a
so
mismatch.
Big?
Yeah, such a mismatch.
But can a linebacker can't stay with Mark Andrews?
Not ours.
Like, what do you do? How do you? You played. How do you defend Mark
What about
Andrews?
Emerson on him?
You see, Jay, let me find out you watching all
corner.
22. Let me find out Jay got the all 22 tape. He gonna steal that ready to go.
I look, man.
That Emerson. I was just about to say that. I like Emerson, and I would put he's physical. He plays to the boundary.
He's bigger.
He's bigger.
Yeah.
And you know what you can do with that? Now, if any time that he splits out wide, now he might not be able to do anything if he's lined up as a blocking guy, right?
Right.
And that might be an adjustment they go to if they got a corner on him. But if you can put Emerson on him, now he's not going to be getting free releases. He's not going to be able to move and shake on these option routes or whatever that he's going to be running with Lamar Jackson. So for me, Emerson is definitely a guy you could put on him, and it's a wrinkle they would never even think about.
Yeah.
Exactly, and you need to try something different, guys, because
I don't think you do it for the whole game.
No.
But you shake it up with him.
Lamar looks for him third down every time.
Yeah.
He looks for him red zone. And
He's
is
his guy.
his guy.
He's
100%.
the safety blanket.
Yeah,
He's the
every
guy
big
he's
spot.
going to go to.
Well, and Andrews is their guy. But I would tell you what, I probably would myself, I would not put Emerson on. I'd leave Emerson out on the outside and let him do his thing, right?
Why? Because too big of a size
It's
mismatch?
the size differential, right?
Right.
Andrews is no joke, right? But I tell you what I would do, since I got Jones now, right? JOK, you get out there. You on Andrews. You roll with him. You spy him, right?
Because
it's a better matchup size-wise. I just don't know athletically.
You can't do the other things I need, right? So I'm going to need you to be over.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that.
I'm going to put him in space where he's free. He ain't got to shed nobody. It's just one-on-one.
The only difference is I want JOK to spy
Lamar
Jackson.
That's what I need him to do.
I do too.
He'll have no responsibilities but to follow him all week. And that's why you might have to go to a 3-man line. Now, you got to get them to a 3-man line where you got, if Clowney and Garrett is playing in a nose tackle, it is not even really a nose. I would play 3 defensive ends in that nickel or dime look, but it would be a dime with 3 down linemen so I could have JOK
Do
standing
you
up.
see them? That would be a radical departure.
I mean, you have to, or you can't.
That's like asking Joe Woods to come out with pink hair. I don't think he's doing that, bro.
As a D lineman.
That's the AOC defense.
As a defensive end, G.
That's nice. That's a nice cutaway.
Hey, cut that up.
That's a very nice cutaway.
JOK with AOC.
That AOC defense, boy.
As a defensive end playing against Lamar Jackson, like we always talk about the defensive end's got to keep containment, right?
Right.
Against Lamar Jackson, you cannot over pursue.
No.
Because then that's when you're dead.
I think isn't that where it starts? I know we started with Andrews, but I think when you're facing Baltimore, it has to start with Lamar Jackson. You have to have a plan.
He's the threat.
Because if he gets out of the pocket,
the game is over. If he's allowed free reign, you're going to lose.
I tell you what, I'm looking for this. We better have some new wrinkle on Sunday, right? Don't show me what you showed me here.
It's going to get ugly.
Because it's going to get you killed, right?
Right.
So, I mean, Myles Garrett, move him around. Do something different.
Yeah.
Do something different on Sunday, right?
Who was it yesterday that proposed putting him in the middle? I love that.
Oof.
Was that Leroy? I think it was
might
Leroy.
have been. I don't know.
It was Leroy 2 days ago.
Leroy,
We've talked about that before, and
but
they've
you know
never
what? I
done
love that
it.
idea.
It's a great idea.
Hey.
They're going to look up and they're going to see 95 in the middle, and they're going to look around like, who's got him?
Yeah.
How are we going to handle him?
Right.
I like that. You know why? Because to me, I kind of said this before. You look at Myles Garrett's body type. In about 3-4 years, he'll probably put another 4 pounds, 4 or 5 pounds, 10 pounds. Myles Garrett is already 285 right now. Now he puts on 10 pounds, it's 295. Mm-hmm. Myles Garrett's evolutionary step is I can play 3 technique. Mm-hmm. If Myles Garrett can transition to an elite 3 technique, now there's nothing you can do.
That changes everything.
There's nothing you can do because now he's in the middle of the defense. Now he's disruptive, and he's a guard that does not have the feet to deal with what he's going to be able to do.
That's still the shortest path to the quarterback.
Still is. And
right.
he can push
it always will be.
He can push the pocket, and I call it the standing 3 technique. I stand him up every play.
All right.
Because I'm going to just let him know, like, he's going to be here, but he could be over here, he could be over here, he could move wherever he want to. And I think that's where you get to the menacing factor. T.J. Watt is menacing because it just seems like he's wrecking my plans. On the run game, it's the penetration in the different moves that you do that mess up blocking. Because if your assignment is I'm supposed to get this guy in my gap, but he moved to another gap, now they got to read on the run.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great step for Myles Garrett to get to that point. But then again, these defenses is the Willy Wonka Green New Deal. The stuff that ain't gonna happen, right? Joe Wills ain't gonna.
We're asking for a pony for Christmas,
right?
We're not getting this.
That was like, what? What is that?
We're getting the standard 4-3. There will be 4 guys coming at the quarterback all day long, even if they're not getting home. You won't see exotic blitzes. You won't see guys coming from the secondary.
Well, then they're going to give up 40 points.
You're going to get killed.
Yeah. If that happens, they're going to get. He's right. They're going to give him 40 points.
He's going to get killed.
I agree with him. If that's what we do.
When you put that T,
K-I-L-T, you're killed.
I guess I'm going to be doing more landscaping this Sunday. I guess I'm going back.
Because your yard's going to be the nicest one on the block.
Hey, Brad, at least this weekend you can do it in shorts.
Right.
It's going to be warm.
Yeah, it's going to be beautiful weather.
But seriously, I mean, you think about this offense. They have 2 great players, Lamar and Andrews. That's it. I mean, J.K. Dobbins is not really playing at this point.
Well, he's hurt again.
He has obviously a lot of Right, he obviously has a lot of potential, but he's been hurt.
Yeah.
Their starting back last week was Kenyon Drake.
I know. Yeah.
Who's not much, but he had 100 yards and 9 carries.
I wouldn't expect for Dobbins to play again. I mean, I know he missed practice Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah, he's not playing this week.
Is he already out?
I think I read yesterday he's out. I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
But they're getting one of their other backs back.
I think he's still questionable because
I think Gus Edwards has been out for a while, too.
I have him on my fantasy team, and I always check.
Yeah.
Yesterday, he had the Q next to him.
Right.
I'm not expecting much out of him, so you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you can, and I don't know what it is with Lamar, but something's wrong. Something's wrong. And you go all the way back to last year. I don't know if it was, to me, I thought the real apex for him was when Miami shut him down on the primetime game last year with the cover 0.
Right.
Everybody kind of looked around and said, oh, now everybody doesn't have the personnel to play cover 0. Mm-hmm. But the Dolphins came up with that blueprint. And I think what we're seeing is you're seeing those 8- and 9-man boxes.
Yeah.
You're seeing it. They're taking away the run, forcing him to pass.
Yeah.
And when he had the run available to him, the reason the pass I thought was so effective was because they were worried about catching him.
Yeah.
And now that they have ways to contain him and they've come up with that blueprint, they're not so worried about him killing them with his arm, and he hasn't been able to do that.
The first couple of games this year he did, though. He had a couple of huge games to start the season.
He had one big game.
No, 2. His first 2 games.
The Miami game at halftime, they were up 35-14.
Right, and then they blew it. But he's done nothing in the fourth quarter.
No.
These are the two worst fourth quarter teams in football.
I think probably if you look that up statistically, you're probably
right. Like I don't know for a fact, but I'm just assuming.
Well,
it seems
we know
pretty obvious.
We know the points the Browns have given up.
Right, and the Ravens have blown double-digit leads in 4 games, and they did win one of those, but they've blown big leads in all of them. So I don't know.
You know why the cover zero messed them up a little bit? It's because it's baseball season. I'll give you this analogy.
Yeah.
So when you at the plate and somebody giving you a 98, 99, 100-mile-an-hour fastball, right? Okay. And they got a slider, right? And they got a curveball, but it's a big hooking curveball. Like that puts you in a position where you have to guess now. Like, 'cause you can't catch up to the fastball.
No, yeah.
You got to look for it. That's why when that's the levels to it. Like now I'm up there guessing. So if I get a good pitch, I guess on it, then I can hit it. But you're not going to just be up there on reaction trying to hit it. When you're running that cover zero, you got everybody at the line of scrimmage, right? So now every time they get up there, you don't know who's coming. You don't know who the free guy is. You don't know if they're dropping back and who has who in the secondary. So when he's dropping back, he's guessing.
Yeah.
He's saying, okay, well, I got to guess. And if you guess right, bingo, you're great. Because guess what? You can throw it and it's a slant. And if they miss one tackle, it's
He's
a
gone.
touchdown.
Yeah, there's no one back there to get him.
Right. But if he guesses wrong, there's a free defender that's going to hit him, or he's going to have to throw the ball before somebody's looking every single time. So now he back there guessing. You know how it is. You start seeing them ghosts. You be like, you think you got less time than you really do. And you're like, why don't you just step up in the pocket? No, but he's still seeing all them shadow men up there. That's the good thing about being aggressive. When Joe Woods and other defensive coordinators, they bail him out by saying, let's just contain him and get him and rush that forward. Because now he's comfortable. I don't got to guess. I can see it and react to it.
So keep him guessing, keep him uncomfortable.
Well, what's the chance of that happening on Sunday?
Well, again, because our D coordinator hasn't been that guy.
Well, then what happened? I mean, how long are we going to keep talking about this?
He said he's got to be at some point. He's got to be fired. Like you have to adjust to the team you're playing. You look at the next 2 weeks. You're talking about think about the next 2 teams you're playing, the Ravens and the Bengals. These are completely different offenses, right?
Completely.
Like with the Ravens, you want to blitz.
Yes.
Lamar doesn't like to be blitzed.
Right.
He gets uncomfortable. Burrow's the complete opposite.
You don't want to blitz.
Don't want to blitz Joe Burrow because you're going to get beat.
Yeah.
And his offensive line isn't as good. So if you're just rushing with your 3 or 4 guys. If you cover long enough, you can get to him.
Yes.
But if you blitz him, he's going to find the open guy quick, and you're screwed. So you have to. Joe Woods these next 2 weeks almost has to coach completely differently for the 2 games.
You're right, he does. And confirmed, the Ravens and the Browns are 31st and 32nd in points allowed in the fourth quarter. Who's worse? I would guess that the Browns are worse.
In the fourth quarter, the Browns have given up the most points.
Yeah.
They're giving up 11.2 points per game in the fourth quarter.
Oh, God.
Baltimore is second, allowing 10.7 points
Those
per
are both
quarter.
horrible.
And, we have, I'd mentioned earlier, DeQuell hops on early.
Right.
And DeQuell's here. Do you just want to bring him in now?
Absolutely.
Steve, I think DeQuell's ready. He's got quite the entrance today. I wish we had some dramatic music.
Oh, here it goes.
DeQuell, you're ready.
What's up, fellas? Listen, I have my coffee today.
He went in his bag today.
Your coffee. No bourbon this morning, huh?
Yeah, I had a long night last night. As I was homecoming, Maryland's homecoming.
You had a bad. I had a long night.
Hey, DeQuell,
so I got invited out, which I thought we would watch the game, and it turned into a night. So I had a good time.
Those are the best.
Wait a second. Andy Dalton just threw another pick. Hold on.
Oh my God!
Before the game, they were going on and on.
He threw 2 pick sixes within about a minute.
I know. Before the game, they're going on and on like, Andy Dalton, he doesn't throw picks. They're starting him over Jameis. Listen, I know Jameis has got his flaws, but he's much better than Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton cost him the game last night.
Anyway, DeQuell, I'm highly insulted that apparently you're talking to G on the phone and I can't get a call from you. Well, we can't call.
I heard that. You know what? You will get a call next week. I heard that. And I like that.
It's going to spread the love.
Next week.
I want to be able to brand to my friends and get calls from DeQuell too.
Now, are we going to have the
sunglasses? Can I keep my glasses on?
Yeah, no, I was just going to ask you if your eyes are bloodshot and you're light sensitive, you can keep them on. You don't look like you were on a bender last night. You look fine.
By the way, we haven't talked about it all, and I'd love your take on this, DeQuell. Huge trade last night in the NFL.
Oh, massive.
Yeah.
Christian McCaffrey, and Panthers get a 2nd-round pick, 3rd-round pick, 4th-round pick, and then a 5th-round pick next year. It's a lot of draft capital.
They gave up half their draft.
Right.
True, but
they got their guy.
Now they have the best pass-catching running back and the best running pass catcher.
It's unbelievable.
Deebo Samuel McCaffrey.
With that combo?
Yeah.
How big? Yeah, it was wild to see him pull that trigger so quickly. I mean, listen, they're at a fire sale right now. They realize quickly they don't have a shot this year, and we got to trade away our best trading piece, and that is Christian McCaffrey. But you trade him to a team that's really good, so clearly it shows that they have a really good standing relationship with him. Yeah. To trade him to a team that could play for a Super Bowl, arguably. So that's typically that doesn't happen. But good for Christian McCaffrey, but. That was odd to see that happen in real time as you're watching the game. And I was out, and I got an alert on my phone, and I was with Edgerrin James and Antoine Bethea invited me out, and we were all talking about it. You know, but good for him. Good for Christian.
I think San Francisco's the team to beat now in the NFC.
Yeah.
I just don't buy you can win a Super Bowl with Jimmy Garoppolo. As much as I love their offense.
I know, but just think about the nightmare it's going to be trying to game plan to stop Debo.
And the NFC is not good.
The only thing
he's been there before. With the same form.
He damn near won it.
McCaffrey stays hurt, though. He stays hurt.
He has been hurt.
He won't have to carry as much of the load in San Francisco as he has in Carolina.
And even though Philly's played great, the AFC's still a lot better than the NFC.
I'm still not buying Philly long term.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm not.
I have a question for you real quick. You look at in the NBA, Shaq and Barkley, they're always hating on the younger guys, the new generation. You're out with Edgerrin James and Antoine Bethea, and a running back gets traded. Do the older NFL players have the same disdain for the new era guys, kind of like there is in the NBA? Or
by the way, that question. That question, hold on, DeQuell. That question is insulting to DeQuell, really, because he ain't old. He just retired a few years ago.
Edgerrin James.
Barkley retired 20 years ago.
No, I'm just saying he's not in the league. It's not a shot at DeQuell. I'm just curious. Edgerrin James is out of the league, and it's a running back that just got traded. They're used differently. It's a different era of running backs. I'm just curious what the relationship is between them.
No, because guys, listen, if anything, older guys that played the position that are rooting for these younger guys because the running back position has been devalued lately. So when Edgerrin James was playing at the height of his career, you needed a running back in order to be successful on offense, and now things have changed. So those guys are rooting for him to be successful and play and have a long career. You look at who's the latest to just retire, have a long Frank Gore, Adrian Peterson. Guys were rooting for them just for the position to benefit. So, no, I don't think it's the same in terms of the NFL. Guys want guys to get paid, to have longevity, or what have you. I don't think it's as prevalent as the NBA guys talk about it.
I like to hear that.
And Mikey, I got to step in here because I don't think Shaq and Barkley hating on them young boys. They're not hating on them at all, right? They agree with the way they attack the game, right? Some of it is unworthy of what you're representing here, right? When you sit here and talk about, well, I'm not coming to work today. What you mean you're not coming to work today? You gonna sell everybody out down the river, right? We all that's chopped meat here. So they got specific issues with people, right? They're not hating on them at all.
It's really generational. Yeah. It's work ethic.
Right, because here.
Okay.
If they
teaming up to win championships.
If they paid you nothing, right?
They don't like that at all.
No, that is worth it because here, you're not taking the mantle. The mantle was I'm going to Sacramento. I'm going to carry Sacramento over the hump.
Right.
Well, now I can't carry Sacramento over the hump, so I'm going to go over here to Philly, and you could call my man that I played in AAU
and I do agree
and
with
my man with AAU over here.
That
we
makes
all
them
go over
soft
here.
to me.
I like, that ain't. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, that's
the only thing I don't like. I don't like that.
One quick.
I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it.
You don't got a problem. You don't got a problem with dudes teaming up.
No, the landscape is different now because now your currency starts in high school and social media has a big, NILs. So guys are looking at this entirely different. If you have a platform, how can you make the most money how can you monetize your likeness? So I think that's a part of it. That's going to be a part of it, going to cities. And I get it.
Winning
You
titles.
want to stay homegrown, win with the team that drafted you. I get all that, but I don't have a problem with guys going to better markets or better situations thinking they can, elevate their status a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. To me, but I will give and I don't want to say goodness race because he come on. I'll give Giannis credit, right? He could have been skipped up out of here, and it's Milwaukee. And trust me, I'd rather live in Cleveland than Milwaukee. No disrespect to him, but I like Cleveland if I'm going to be in the Midwest market, and it's Milwaukee. So my thing is he could have skipped out of here. He could have been gone. But I give him extra credit because he stayed, persevered, and I didn't think they was going to ever win a title. Like, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's a guy that I give extra credit points to.
And you look at him differently because he did it without leaving.
Yeah, my beef, Brad, is when I don't have a problem. If a guy's like about to be a free agent and he's like, oh, I don't want to live in Cleveland, whatever.
You exercise.
But like if you just sign a new contract for 5 years and then like half a year later you want to go, well, that's kind of crazy.
That's where we are now.
I have a problem.
Let's get back to the Browns and the Ravens because DeQuell, I really am curious to hear your thoughts on how you stop Lamar Jackson, who might not be the same player he was a couple of years ago, but he's still that dual threat guy. How are you going to begin the game plan for stopping the Ravens on Sunday?
Well, let's look at the facts. Joe Woods hasn't shown that he can pressure well. We haven't shown that we can cover on the back end well with fire zone coverages, man coverages, because that's one thing you cannot do with Lamar Jackson. You play man coverage, the defender's back is turned. You give him any creases, he's going to take off and he's going to make you pay. So for me, this is a tough one, Jay. This is tough. I have to look at the players that I have. We know we can rush the pass and get after them, but you have to get them in those situations and win first and second down. With Lamar, you got to play zone coverage, and you got to be able to pressure from zone. You have to run some fire zone, change the math so he doesn't have a clean pocket, so he's always looking at a blitzer. But when you do that, you're one less defender in the back end. So I don't know, Jay. I don't have an answer for them because their offense is playing pretty well, aside from the defense giving up, double-digit leads. So this game is going to come down to fourth quarter, because both teams are giving up a crazy amount of points and can't finish games. So for a defense, you have to be able to pressure him, run a ton of stunts up front with your D lineman, not just be a statue and have four guys rush off the edge and in the interior. You got to change the math with this guy, and you have to be able to stop the run, something that we hadn't really done all that well. So this game really scares me. And I'll say this last point about Joe Woods. Coaches, if you don't come up with a good game plan, could this be the game that could really change the conversation in terms of him being fired?
Well, they're going into Cincinnati, and then is the bye after Cincinnati?
No.
Or is the bye after Cincinnati, yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah, right.
So
right.
I've been thinking all along that if Baltimore and Cincinnati don't go well, the teams tend to make changes.
The season's over anyway if you lose those two games.
Over, but if you can give a new D coordinator 2 weeks, you give them 2. I know we're waving the white flag. It makes me sick.
Well, but you're already 2-6 if you lose those games. But DeQuell, specifically from like you talk about against Lamar Jackson, you got to play zone because we were having a conversation before. Like obviously their biggest threat in the passing game is Mark Andrews, right? He's their only great weapon in the passing game. Lamar looks for him almost every time on third down. Always looks to him in the red zone. I was saying, like, could you use a corner and treat him like a wide receiver, even though he's so big? And G and J were suggesting maybe Emerson, but you're saying they're going to play zone. So I guess it's not like. But if you were going to man up with Andrews, what would you do? Like, can linebackers stay with him?
No, I cheated because I was on and I heard the conversation. So you guys brought up Emerson, and I think that's a great situation because I think he's the best. He's the most consistent player in the secondary right now.
Yeah.
Anytime he gets beat, he's in phase. It's a better catch and better throw than his defense. So I like where he's been defensively. He's always seems to know where he is. I mean, you can play zone, but you have to pressure off of it, so it becomes more of a man zone concept. And what I would do if the Mark Andrews is tight to the tackle.
Yeah.
Who's ever that defensive end to that side, you got to stand up and you got to chip him before he releases to throw off the timing.
Right.
Slow him down, and on top of that, you have a guy kind of mirroring him in key situations, or you go man in key situations, or red zone and third down, because he's a huge target for Lamar Jackson. If you can take that away, I think you can kind of tilt the scale in terms of the advantage to the Browns. But Emerson, I couldn't think of anyone else that I could think of that could play man, and he's tall, he's big, he's physical, and he can run with Mark Andrews.
And the problem with Andrews, too, is if you don't tackle, like he breaks tackles, he's hard to tackle.
Don't let him get up to speed.
And he's a good athlete, too, so you miss that first tackle, he's gone.
Yeah, I know. He's tough to bring down.
We can't match our linebackers up, and our most athletic linebackers, our most inconsistent linebackers, JOK.
Yeah, right,
so he's a liability out there. So, and everyone else, they can't. That's a mismatch.
Yeah, DeQuell said something that I think is really important. I would run a lot of cloud coverage. I would run a mixture of zone, backside, combo it up, and then I would just say, okay, well, I know they don't do this. They don't switch their defensive ends based on formation strength. So I would say, okay, Myles Garrett, wherever he's at, if he's on the line of scrimmage, you're going to be on him, right? And we're going to line you up outside of Andrews or head up on Andrews. And every single time, you're going to get hands on him, right? Then when you get hands on him, pass him off to somebody else. Now, that takes one of your best pass rushers away, so that means it will probably be zone where Myles Garrett's going to be, but I play man backside, and then I could bring some fire zone, some heat backside. So at least I'm replacing my rusher on this side. And I could do some overload stuff, maybe even bring a corner occasionally. But he got to get creative. And DeQuell, you know this more than anybody. How often do you have a coordinator who has a lot of tendencies, you know what they're going to call, how difficult is it for them to just completely go away from what they're comfortable with and to install something because there's no way.
That's a great question, G. That's a great question. And your sentiment about that is no different than players in the locker room. When things aren't working, your calls just aren't working. We're doing the same things over and over and over again, and we're not having any success. So coaches don't change. They're not going to change. The only way they change if they get fired. That's been my experience with every coordinator I've been with, whether I thought they were really good or just really terrible. They're going to either be really terrible or really good. There's no gray area. And the guys who morph into having careers and after their first stint as being a defensive coordinator, they understand that they can adjust. But there's been no adjustment. And back to the point about Mark Andrews, there's also a coverage you can play called the robber, where let's say if you're in man coverage, who's ever on him, the backside safety knows if that guy cuts across the formation, he's going to pick him up. So you have two guys on one. But again, back to your question, he's not going to change. This is not going to change. What we see is what we get from Joe Woods in this defense, and it's going to take the players playing better and making game-changing plays in order for this defense to turn around.
Did you guys see his comments earlier this week, his news conference?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, for those that did, what was your takeaway from his demeanor and also from Mike Prefer, if you saw him?
Well, for me, when Joe Woods keeps saying to himself, "Well, we just have to clean it up. We just, we're gonna do what we do." And we got to play much better.
He's saying it's not the scheme; it's our execution.
It's the execution of the
taking himself off the hook, basically.
But essentially, it is. Yes.
Yeah. And Prefer was on there like he's doing a great job.
Listen,
that was weird.
That was my thought about Prefer was he's watching different games.
He is.
He hasn't watched the Browns
games. He's been awful.
I would thought if you just said, listen to this coach and tell me what's their record and how's he doing, I would think he's the special teams coach of a team that's 6-0 and has had 8 blocks, punts, and 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns.
It was weird. It was very weird.
Well, Jay,
I felt out of touch.
When the head coach gets fired and you stay, what type of entitlement do you breed?
Yeah.
That breeds entitlement.
That's a great point.
That means it don't matter what happened here.
Yeah, you're bridging administrations.
Yeah, I've been here when we was terrible. I've been here when we was good. We ain't ever been good. When you hear those two guys talk, it just goes to show you that they are. This is how new coaches get fired. It's that 3 to 5 year thing. In your head, you they've been promising me 3 to 5. They've been promising
the clock is always ticking.
The clock is. I got some time. No, bro, you don't got no time. And unless you get rid of him and make up, this is why I get annoyed when people say it's not gonna change anything. If somebody today, if they came in here with an Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show, somebody came in here today and was like, you know what? You gone. Go back to the show. I'll be like, what the hell done happened? What happened? Did somebody let me? Did we have a meeting? No, they just came in and was like, bye. You look up, you be like, well, let me listen. I'm gonna need to be getting up at 9 o'clock. I need to be in there about 2 hours early on this boy, because they ain't about to just get me tomorrow. That sends a message to people that this is not gonna get it done.
Yeah.
And guess what? That also sends a message. There's a spotlight in your room. Linebackers, defensive backs, the coach need to be pulling up on
notice.
them. You're on notice.
I did feel that Joe Woods had a sense of urgency.
I do. I agree with that.
I felt like he knew, that at least he had the awareness that his unit
Prefer
sucks.
had none.
Prefer was like, hey, keep doing what we're doing.
DeQuell in pro sports, you know this. There always has to be an anvil hanging over somebody's head. Always, right? No one is above the fray of getting walked out the door that day. And the day that when you hear these comments, right? Prefer gone, right? Yeah. Joe Woods is delusional, right? And the dude that's supposed to hold him accountable, DeQuell, is Stefanski, who's not obviously holding anybody accountable.
Is he too nice a guy?
Because he won't drop the anvil. You have to drop the anvil on people. Yeah. And that's coaches. DeQuell knows that's players. That's the only thing that keeps you honest around here.
You've got to fire that shot across the bow.
Yeah.
Don't you
a healthy level of fear.
You
is always very productive.
You could get shot today. Yes, you could. Yeah. Theoretically.
Allegedly.
Theoretically.
Allegedly.
Here, there have been people. I'll go back and tell the story again. I'm going to give the whole. I watched the Pistons in the midst of the run. One of the All-Stars on the team, Mark Aguirre, my boy. They were going to walk Mark right out of there after a couple losses because Mark was cutting up. They were like, I'm not just, now I'm talking about trading them. You going to get cut today. This deal was set. We had a special meeting on a Sunday, 6 p.m. to let them know that Mark was about to be cut. Dang. And that was like, the only thing to save Mark, you talking to him. Because Mark was gone that day.
What'd you do?
Well, because I said, wait, hold on, wait, you're being hasty here.
Let me talk to my man.
I'm trying to get.
Let me tell him there's DEFCON red.
Straighten them out.
I'm trying to get a championship here, right?
Let me talk
we
to my
need
guy.
Mark. We need Mark, right? That's the only thing, because they were looking for a vote for the players.
Wow, they had to vote.
So I stood on the floor, and after I left that meeting, Mark called me because he wasn't at the meeting. Everybody else was at the meeting. You know all those Pistons, they were there. And Mark was like, he called me like a half hour later. Hello? What's up, Mark? I heard what you did. Appreciate you. But
he was like, Bill Laimbeer was going to kick my ass out the door.
You should have seen the look on everybody's face when they were talking about dropping an anvil on him that day. Yeah. It made everybody else sit up straight.
Yeah,
they heard the alarm.
Yeah. Otis, you better go talk to David. David Ruffin, boy.
Well, on an unrelated note, I got a question for you because this kind of blew me away. I saw Mary Kay had a column this morning in which she talked about that not only is Deion Jones, who was just acquired a week ago, going to play for the first time ever this week, he is going to wear the green sticker. Now, to me, someone who's not playing the NFL,
oh my goodness.
I was like, how does a guy new to the team wear the green sticker? Is this not crazy? It seemed crazy to me, but I didn't play. Is this crazy?
Take the floor.
Yeah, that's crazy because he doesn't know the playbook. All he knows is base coverages and what can you carry over? What language are you using that he used in with the Falcons for many years? So this is a head scratcher to me. I don't understand this. I thought Jacob Phillips had played decently well, or okay, not terrible, but okay. Yeah. But the fact that they are really, those linebackers are really just
decently well.
They just haven't been cutting it. They've been underachieving, and so that's where we are right now.
On the desperation scale, on the desperation scale, 1 to 10, what is this?
I'm a 10. I'm a 10.
Wow.
Because there's no way. You know how disrespectful that is? If I've been here for 3 years or 2 years or whatever the case may be, as a linebacker, this is my moment to step up and show this team that I can wear the green dot and I can communicate and I can play well. You bring in a guy, and within 2 weeks, he's got the green dot. So that means he's going to be on the field a lot. I would feel disrespected that I'm not doing my job. And we talk about this healthy fear, Brad.
Yeah.
In that linebacker room, there's a fear right now. It's like, my goodness. I cannot believe what's happening around me. And the whole team knows it. We're talking about it. And if he goes out and plays well, you better believe this during the bye week, something has to happen. Something has to happen, whether a player gets sat down or Joe Woods is fired. Something is going to happen, and it's starting. We're starting to see this in the linebacker room
if they don't play well.
Yeah, right. If they don't.
If they don't play well, sorry.
And it's not even like he's some 12. Like he's been in the league a little time, but it's not like he's like Von Miller coming in, where you're like, okay, the guy's been in the league forever. He's the man. Like, Deion Jones is a nice player, but he's not special.
It doesn't happen. Only if you give him a small play sheet, a small menu, and typically you wouldn't give that to a guy. You wouldn't give him the green dot because he doesn't know. Listen, when there's a formation, when there's a check within a formation, you got to call guys' names. He doesn't even know everyone's names. He doesn't even know, you know what I mean? Like it's that small it's so small, but it can become a big deal.
DeQuell, he line like this. Hey, buddy, move down, buddy.
21.
Right.
Scoot over.
You're calling guys' names.
Hey, white dude.
And DeQuell, it's against Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my goodness! Listen, this game scares me, man. This game scares me.
It has a recipe for a real disaster, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Except that the Ravens D's been a disaster also. I mean, they've been awful in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, but their offense is scoring a ton of points.
Yeah.
I know they've had some costly turnovers. So have we. I mean, we played our worst offensive game last week. But, you can always count on the Ravens putting up some points. And if you allow them to, this thing can get out of hand very quickly because they've been embarrassed this year. So they're looking for
blowouts.
DeQuell, did you see John Johnson's comments this week?
I did not. Please tell me.
So basically saying they were asking him about, basically people's commitment to this thing around. His thoughts were that he wasn't sure if people were really committed to it. People were leaving the facility early. Nobody's staying late. Nobody's putting in the extra time.
Look at him.
And there are telltale signs that when the ship is sailing away. And when I heard those words, I said it 2 weeks ago. When I see things, I'm like, something is not quite right here. And I'm worried now, right? Because
guys
when you start slowly checking out.
Yeah, when you start telling the media what's going on, you've been pondering this for some time. And I actually had a clip I was going to post this week, and I may post it today, of John Johnson being in the fire where there was a huge miscommunication. And I'll post about it later, but like, he's part of the problem as well. Listen, if you're not playing well, then shut up. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Because now everyone's watching you now, your effort, how you play, how you communicate. Now the bullseye is on you, and it's just a bad move by him, man. JV move by him. But yeah, this shit, when you start hearing comments, that is not a good look. You know what else we'll hear pretty soon? If they come out and lay an egg and get pretty much just beat down, we're going to start hearing about player-only meetings. And when that starts, when the ship is sailed, that could get dicey.
Well, he was sliding into fans' DMs to yell at them for, like, taking shots at him on Twitter. Like, you can't be paying attention to that stuff.
They should. You're playing like crap. The whole team is. You should be playing much better. That comes with it.
Yep.
So these guys got to wake up, man. Because we had so much high hopes for this team, and they're just underachieving right now.
DeQuell, I know what it is. They're not slick. They ain't gonna get me. See, I didn't play for coaches that I felt was trash. I did the calculation. What year am I? I'm a redshirt freshman. I got time. You don't got time. You actually don't have no time. Where you come from? Army. Oh, they don't play no defense in the Army. Y'all overseas doing stuff. At the end of the day, you'll be gone before I will. And I'm looking around, and when somebody says, you know what, cats ain't putting no work in, they not doing no film work, they ain't doing none of that, you know what that's slowly but surely telling me? I hate your scheme. I don't like where I play at. I don't really want to have no energy because I don't even want to make you look good. Like, you be in a catch-22. Yeah. Do I really want to make him look good so he stay around for a couple more weeks? Or do I really want to make my body language? So it's like he got on TV and you're mad with your parents. And you tell your parents, you go to school the next day, you start drawing in all red, and then you start messing around and you say, I'm having some things going on at home. My mom always told me, don't do that. They might actually believe you and get you up out of here. You ain't getting 3 square meals everywhere. You know how you go to that refrigerator? You can't do that in foster care. Like, so don't go in there trying to play the drill. Don't play the drill on yourself now. And so what he's doing, he's actually going to his school. The media is the school. He's going to his teacher being like, things are really tough right now. I've been thinking about some things. Can I go to the nurse? Boy, Joe Woods, Protective Services is coming. Yeah. Jimmy will get down there. Jimmy will supersede that.
Well, DeQuell, you know this. That was supposed to be checked. As soon as he did that, that was supposed to be checked. I'm not sure that got checked down there, right? Because because you letting people get out on you in public here, right? It's one thing you say it behind but people back. But not, you feel like you can get at the podium and say this, huh? Oh.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna be curious to hear what Myles Garrett, what his comments will be like for as the time moves on. But yeah, you're right, Brad. Like, listen, man, if I were in that locker room, there would be a lot of scuffles going on. Yeah. I'm gonna have to put my hands on you. I'm gonna have to really show you.
Hey, I wish someone in there would. I wish someone would be mad enough to do that.
I'm gonna show you these hands.
I'm gonna have to put and this happened.
I'm gonna show you these hands.
This Browns conversation is depressing.
Yes, it did. It just devolved. Never shake the baby.
All right, here we go. Here's the question of the day, DeQuell. You and your wife are going out for dinner.
Where did this come from?
You need a babysitter. You have 3 options for your babysitter. You ready?
Yeah, go for it.
Johnny Manziel, Antonio Brown, or Peyton Hillis.
I'm not
Johnny
going out.
Manziel, Antonio Brown, Peyton Hillis. One of them's got to babysit your kid. Who are you picking?
I heard Jay's answer. You're right. I'm not going out.
Honey, we're ordering in. You got to pick one.
This ain't on the master rundown, Jay.
No.
We can go over this.
Come on, DeQuell. You got to pick one. You got to pick one.
You know what? If I will pick one, I would probably say Johnny Manziel, but my auntie, she's on a speed dial to make sure when he leaves the house to go to Vegas, and someone is there to check on my son.
Peyton, if you pick a Johnny Manziel, I mean, we know Antonio Brown's bleep crazy.
I played with Peyton Hillis.
I know he's crazy, right?
Crazy. He's just not. No. I can't even say on air.
I have been doing either this TV show or sports talk radio for over 20 years. And he came off as the dumbest person I've ever interviewed in over 20 years.
Really?
He said some of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm.
The guy and he didn't even know. We were asking him about the Browns, and he was doing a Browns podcast for like a minute.
Clueless.
He was clueless, completely clueless. He had no idea what was going on.
So when he played, he did something so speaking to that point, he's a big hunter apparently.
Right.
And he comes to work one day and he's talking about, I just killed this deer, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what? What are you talking about? This guy was up early in the morning. He shot and killed a deer in a residential neighborhood. And he had it in his trunk. I promise you. He had it in his trunk. I'm like, what? There's homes around. Like, what? Are you serious? And no, it never got out. It never got out.
This dude is in a gated community with a sniper rifle.
Honey, did you hear that 30-06?
Oh, my God.
That's a true story. Allegedly.
Oh, my God.
We need a music stinger with the allegedly.
Man.
Listen, it was the topic of discussion that entire day. It was like, you did what? Yeah.
And he told people about it.
He told people about it, but that's the point. He was clueless. He could run the rock, but he was just clueless.
Was he harmless, clueless, or was he dangerous?
He's shooting in a residential area. There's nothing harmless about that.
Yeah. No, I mean in general, take the deer story out, like because I have friends that are clueless, but they're harmless.
Right.
Then I have other friends that are clueless, and you don't want to spend a night out with them.
Oh my God, that's a great story.
I can't remove that situation out of my head because no matter what I thought about him, you killed a deer in a residential neighborhood and you put it in your trunk of your car. Like that's mind blowing.
I got to apologize to your kid for putting him in that spot that you have to hire.
First
Johnny
of all,
Manziel
it does. I don't know how big the deer was, but it does kind of speak to his strength that he grabbed the deer, picked it up by himself, and threw it in his trunk.
And no one called it. It was just like, what? How? I don't understand how this happened.
And no one. Out the deer.
You're not in jail right now.
and by the way, Bull, like just so you know.
Yeah.
Men are not allowed to be just bringing the baby.
That's true. I never understand. Who would hire a male babysitter?
No,
I'm just joking around.
I spit the water out.
Hey, no, for real. Hey, all jokes aside, it ain't even like they could be like 11 or 12, but. No, you can't be babysitting, bro.
Unless it's like your parents or something like that.
No, listen, not even. I raised.
Not cousins.
I helped my wife raise 2 babies.
Yeah.
My daughter would not go out before she left Hayes, who's 2, just with me.
Why not?
Because I'm her dad. She knows.
Oh, come on.
When she was 3 and Corey was 1, I was left with them.
Yeah,
Wife had to go to the store or whatever, and Corey craps his diaper. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm going to act like I don't smell.
You can't change a diaper?
Now, at 3 years old, Kirsten goes, Daddy, Corey went to the bathroom in his diaper. And I said, are you sure? I already knew I could smell it. She goes, yeah, Dad, I'm sure it needs to be changed. Mom would change it right away.
Wait a second.
And so
you can't change a diaper?
I can.
But that's not your strong suit. That ain't.
But
it's awful.
I said, everything that went down, Kirsten was like, Dad, I'll go get all the equipment that you're going to need.
She was how old?
3. She came out knowing everything.
She was 3 years old and more prepared to take care of a baby than you.
By far. By far. And so she is watching me do it. She goes, no, Dad, the tape is on the wrong side. You have to turn it the other way. She talked me through it. There's no way Kirsten is going to leave Hayes with just me.
That's fact.
I stayed with my son when he was young.
I'm on the other side of the ledger. I change it like it's changed.
You guys are crazy.
I can do all that.
Yeah, I just wasn't good at it.
I mean, changing a diaper sucks.
I'm a well-doing machine now.
Yeah,
I had to.
And I don't want nobody.
And certainly no strangers. That's a guy. Never.
No sleepovers at my house. Nah, bro. Ain't nobody allowed over here. It's just you. You coming back by yourself. I don't want no problems. You know what? G. Bush was what? No, I was not. I was not going nowhere. It's just me and my children in here, officer. Just me and my children.
DeQuell, let me ask you a question.
Allegedly,
officer.
I'm gonna come back to this my Browns thinking here. You got 2 tough games coming up here. Baltimore and Cincinnati, right? If they go sideways,
if they continue to go sideways.
No.
They've gone sideways.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Good cleanup. So
if they don't regain control of the vehicle.
So here we go. Week 7 and 8. Are you looking at a massive change here? Massive.
When you say massive, you mean
you know what I
coach?
mean. You know exactly what I mean.
Yeah. I think it's something they're going to have to talk about and discuss. And I'm sure those conversations are happening right now from the Haslams. And
but don't you have to see Stefanski with Watson? Don't you have to see that?
I don't think Stefanski getting fired no matter what.
I mean, we all become prisoners of the moment. Yeah. And right now, he can be a saving grace. But when he comes back, I mean, listen, he's not going to be playing. He's not going to be the guy that we hope he will be right away. It's going to take him until next year. So I get it. We're being prisoners of the moment. I completely forgot about that point. Wasn't even thinking about Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, you can't.
Just thinking about how the Browns are right now. Can you manage the team right now?
I'm gonna play devil's advocate later, and I'm gonna try to explain to you
why you would do it.
Why Haslam would think this way?
Not Haslam. You don't know what him.
All bets are off for Jimmy.
When I explain it, you might think about it like, hold on, that might be kind of true. I'll just give you.
Remember we were talking dangerous dumb? That's Jimmy Haslam.
I don't think. I mean, who knows what the hell he's going to do? We look at his track record. But one thing before we let you go, and at the time I did not think this, but with everything that's happened since, I've asked myself this question. Last year, when Odell Beckham and Baker went sideways, I didn't think this in the moment, but now I'm rethinking it. This happens a lot in the NFL. I've heard from a lot of players, there are beefs going on in the locker room that the media never knows about. And I've talked to players about it, and they said there's 2 ways to handle it. The coach can come in and be the sheriff, or the coach can wear a blindfold and act like he doesn't know what's going on, and that's when the teapot boils over.
Yeah.
I wonder if that wasn't our first red flag, that Stefanski just isn't big enough in the locker room to manage these huge egos and these star players, and it got out of control because he didn't keep a lid on it. Is there any possibility that theory is true?
Yeah, that's great merit to that because, you're right. Anytime you have just managing a team, a leader of men is hard enough to deal with, but you add another element to it when you have really like star power. And you're right. The head coach there's a lot of beefs that goes on between players, and you can compartmentalize it. Like, listen, I'm here to work. I do my job. You do your job. We probably never hang out outside of this building. But you're right. It falls on the head coach to make sure everyone's on the same page, to get in front of it. And when you do get in front of it, you know what? You gain credibility from the other players and the other staff throughout that locker room. And if you aren't doing those things, and what we talked about it for 10 or 15 minutes about Kevin Stefanski being, the sense of urgency, and why is your coordinator feeling like there's no sense of urgency? He could be out of here. That falls on the head coach. You need to have a healthy dose of fear with everyone that if you don't do your job, there's a chance you're going to be out of here. And that comes from getting in front of all these issues. And I think you hit a home run here, Jay. This could be a really good point that no one's really talking about that you just brought up. And yeah, it's a really good point.
Well, hopefully, look, all of this talk, and I know it does seem depressing, and that's why Bull had to go to his bullpen with the best question of the day about the babysitter. It was a healthy diversion, but I will say this. Yes, the building is on fire, but it's nothing that a 30-14 win in Baltimore wouldn't fix.
You got
because all of a sudden,
yes, it's a whole.
The sun is out, and it looks beautiful.
All of a sudden, you're playing the Bengals, and the winner's in first place.
Yes,
it's a totally different.
But don't let it go the other way.
No.
The only point I was making is that in organizations that have the eye on the prize, they're not afraid to make a move. I watched. I was on a team that got to the Eastern Conference Finals, 2 games away from being in the championship, and they fired the coach right after the season was over.
The Cavs fired the coach and won the championship.
2 weeks later.
That is crazy.
That's how Phil Jackson got the job.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Cavs fired a coach and won a championship.
Hey, we're going to do pre-written headlines, and you get to go first. So,
wait a second. Hold on.
Hold the phone.
Before we get the headlines, DeQuell, I got another important question for you.
Okay. Curveball.
All right. You are put in a position where you have to win an eating contest. Mikey, take it easy. You have to win it. You have to win an eating contest, or you lose all your money. All right, you're broke. What food do you pick that you think you can win an eating contest in?
Oh, spaghetti, easily.
Spaghetti.
Wow.
Spaghetti. Yeah.
Specifically spaghetti, not just like macaroni. Got to be spaghetti specifically.
Spaghetti, white sauce.
White sauce. And
Yes.
you're beating anybody.
I could take down a good healthy dose of pasta. Yes.
Wow.
Fair enough.
Do that all
I believe
day.
you. I got faith in you.
What, do we have a challenge? Is that a challenge?
Allegedly.
I'll challenge you to that. I love
Let's go.
pasta.
Let's go.
Hey,
All right, let's get
I don't know
to
if I
Quell's
can eat as
headline.
much as
We
you
had
can,
to know
but-
that answer first.
Bull, I love you, and I'm glad you asked that question.
Thank you.
So, there have been some great duos.
Take it easy, Mike.
I didn't even do anything.
Don't die.
No, I reacted to your reaction, and he saw it.
I literally just shook
Take
my
it
head.
easy, Mikey.
Let's go.
All right, so there have been some great duos in Browns history. You think of like Josh Gordon and Derek Anderson, and that's it.
Josh Gordon and Derek Anderson?
So
You came up with that?
They didn't even play with each
my
other. What
point
are you
is
talking
the next
about?
great duo in Cleveland sports history
that
is
is
the Quell and the
crazy.
UCSS production team on headlines. So the Quell gives us
Okay.
the headline. We come
Greg
up with the
Pruitt, Mike
subhead.
Pruitt?
yeah.
Oh, wait, Josh Gordon and Derek Anderson didn't play together. What are you
Lyra,
talking about?
Lyra Kelly both.
Didn't they play together?
No.
No.
Oh,
No.
yeah. You know what?
Watch Major League.
I'm
Read
watching
a
Major
book about the Browns,
Wait, who was
and
the
then you can
quarterback the
stay.
year Josh Gordon went crazy?
It was
Everybody.
Yeah,
like
Derek
Brian
Anderson.
Hoyer
Yeah, they had-
and
that's
It was
what
Derek
Jason
Anderson, right?
Campbell. No.
Cynical.
No, not Derek Anderson.
cynical.
Yeah, it was a
That's
slew.
what-
Derek Anderson was way before that.
That's what's so incredible about that season.
It was
I
Cart.
thought that was the year Derek Anderson threw. But no, you're right.
No, that-
It was
years
Brandon
No, that was-
Whedon.
Winslow and
It was like Whedon and a
Edwards.
couple other guys. I don't
Okay.
know.
Both threw
Besides the
20
point.
passes that season.
Besides the point, this season's even more incredible. DeQuell's headline. Let's take it.
Here we go.
It's an elite headline here. DeQuell, you can read it.
Here we go. Battle within the Browns continues. Browns all bark, no bite. It's in line with what we've been talking about. I think the battles from within is spilling over to what we see on Sunday. And you know what? We'll see. These next 2 weeks will be the tale of the tale. You know, what's going to happen? Will it be a fire sale? I hope not. But
It's
we'll see.
interesting. as the weeks go on, more and more
dog.
of us are losing faith.
Yeah.
You know, the first week, all of our headlines were positive.
Right.
Second week, all of them positive. Third week, one
Less
negative.
and less and less
now,
and less.
now it's like, let the season end already.
Browns crap the bed.
Brad, is Brad second?
I'll be watching on Sunday.
I'm a homer, so I'm going to just stay with the homer. I might be talking stuff, but I'm going to stay riding.
Here we go.
I guess.
I'm
I'm
All right,
on the
Nicole, you're
train.
gonna stick around with us for all the headlines then, I
I've been
guess.
on the
You're,
train this
You want to
long.
stick with us?
Come on, Mike.
yeah,
Put
let's
mine
do
up
it
here.
quick.
Let's
All right,
go.
Brad.
Let's do it.
Let's see Brad's. Another Anthony special. You got it. It's ready. Take it full, Steve.
See what we got here. Browns survived the circling of the birds.
Oh, I like that.
Okay.
Used to the running game grounds of Ravens air attack. Now being very, very optimistic.
You are.
That is very
But it's clever what you did.
Very, very
Because the
optimistic.
birds are
I like
circling.
that, right?
They are
They
circling.
are.
Jay, they circle before what? What happens when
There's a carcass on the ground when
Yes.
they circle in the air.
You got it.
I love it, Brad.
That is really good.
Although if it goes wrong, those birds are going to be eating Jacoby Brissett's carcass.
Now, they could have put G. Bush with the allegedly face as a scarecrow.
Hey, Jay, carcass circling.
No, that's great.
Yeah.
That was
That's
very,
really
very
good.
clever.
Smelling something.
What the hell stinks down there at the 50-yard line? G. Bush,
That's,
what do
that's
you
Peyton
got?
Hillis' deer that stinks.
Still in his trunk.
Still in there.
That's a
I
great
can't
story.
believe he did that.
That's great.
All
But I
right.
can believe it.
Yeah,
I guess I can.
If
As
you met him,
crazy
you
as
could
it is.
believe it. If
Yeah.
you met him and sat down with him and talked with him, you could believe it.
Yeah. Go ahead, G.
I don't know what I wrote.
G. Bush always forgets. So G. Bush, real quick before you
Win
take
or
this.
lose? Do you remember that?
RSL.
Yeah. So G. Bush sent us. G. Bush sent us 2 paragraphs. So G. Bush did a little editorial. You know, you sent it to your editor.
He
your
wrote the
editor-
headline and the story.
Yeah, and
No,
had
it's
the
just-
first 2 sentences,
We
too.
just narrowed it down. So let's see G. Bush's.
Okay.
Lamar or Michael Jackson. Smooth criminal dances around the D in the dub. Boy,
I like
tell you
this.
what.
Speaking of people you don't want to babysit your kids. Hello.
Yeah, the most electrifying, allegedly, right? Definitely.
Yeah, allegedly.
I don't know. Michael Jackson, he had the.
No comment.
Any man that has the ability to make foreign Korean people pass out, they can't be around my kids. Michael!
They're out.
Oh, God, you just let your wrist go? What's wrong with you? Your
Best
leg?
singer, though.
That's crazy. Most
And
electrifying.
dancing. Terrific. What an
Pull
entertainment.
the sharpener
Michael
over here.
Jackson.
break
That's
it, you
pretty
break
good.
the whole
Breaking up the
thing.
set.
Can
That
it
was
get
a
better?
Don't
good
worry
one.
about it. Get it with it.
Yeah, I get it later. That was
Nice
fine.
picture by
Headline getting
Anthony
better?
there with getting Michael Jackson in there.
The only way it gets any better, Lamar, is if DeQuell is if Lamar has so much time on one of his touchdown runs that he moonwalks into the end zone.
I had moonwalk in there.
That's a
If he
mic drop.
walks into the end zone, G. Bush automatic dub.
Forever. I mean, the competition's
No doubt.
over.
Yeah.
If
Game
that
over.
happens.
Yeah.
These are the best headlines we've had so far, by the way. Claps. Let's give a little round of applause to ourselves.
Yeah,
Instead of
Anthony.
nothing. We
Yeah.
have 2 more really good ones.
By the way, speaking of going into the end zone,
Yeah.
the first of the 2 pick sixes last night that Dalton threw.
He's terrible.
That dude, I can't even think of the player's name. That
Did you
had
see the slow motion
interception.
video of it?
It was.
I'll find
It's
it. Hold
one
on.
of the most incredible things I've seen athletically in a very long time. He took a 2-foot leap from the 4-yard line, landed 3 yards deep in the end zone,
Yeah.
Maybe your son's been coaching him.
and he somersaulted. he did a flip. I don't know if we can show that if it's on a meme or.
No, we're gonna break the rules. I'm gonna show something. This is it's not the full flip, but it's the slow motion angle from the side. It is the single best slow motion
I
clip
wasn't
in
watching
NFL
it.
sports history.
Yeah,
I'm telling
let's
you,
see
Take it full and play it, Steve. Just watch this. There's Andy.
it's in the
Dalton.
background.
Oh my goodness.
And he complete somersault.
What the hell
and he
was
pulled
that?
it off.
Wait, he didn't land on his
Nuts.
He flipped and
He
landed on his
landed on
back.
his
He landed
feet.
on his back.
But here's what I don't understand, DeQuell. I know defensive players are excited. That looks fake, by the way.
Listen, when I saw it in real time, and
Like a
I texted Herbie.
Yeah.
Nobody was talking about it.
That's
And then
weird.
Herbie finally said, "Wow, that was quite a trip into the
Yeah.
end zone there."
What I don't get, DeQuell, is
I mean, he's
players do that. Remember Lamar did like a backflip into the end zone?
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
don't
He
you
looks
worry
like a
about getting
real-life
hurt?
Spider-Man.
bro.
I mean, football's a dangerous enough game when you're getting hit. Why do you want to like land on your back when you jump into
You
the
have
end
supreme
zone?
confidence that you can do that.
Man, that's
it's not
crazy.
the first time he's done that. Guys, he flew 21 feet.
He said a fly.
That's nuts.
And
Don't
here's
hit
the
me.
actual clip. Let's take tag
Flying
for it. You guys
squirrels,
missed
bro.
it. It'll replay. Hold on.
Yeah. Oh my!
Listen, swan bomb.
Look at the huge guy that's chasing him. Watch this. Watch this guy. He's huge.
Look at his back ascension. His legs.
But he could have gotten hurt doing that. No.
Wow.
I like seeing a fat guy run. Look at the fat guy run. Fat guy run.
That's a 21. He flew 21 feet in the air.
We got to check his back. Was he a track guy?
He had to be.
Do we know that at all?
I don't know. I'm not sure, but you're right. He had to be.
He's a gymnast, DeQuil.
I mean, a 27-foot jump will win a gold medal at the Olympics.
Bizarre.
He flew 21 feet in the air and landed on his
shoulder pads.
I know.
What about 19 pounds of equipment on?
It's unbelievable, guys. It's one of the most amazing athletic things I've seen this year.
We got 2 more headlines, including Jays and Bulls, and these are some good ones, too.
Do you want Bull or me to go?
No, Jay, you're up first.
All right. I'm calling my shot again. I called it last week. I told you last week this is the winner. I'm telling you again, this is the winner.
Let's take it full.
This is it. Ravens pick apart Browns' carcass.
Very similar.
Mistakes continue to sink Browns. And I love the censored over the Browns helmet.
You guys have basically the opposite, exact opposite.
I say they lose.
I say
you said that they were circling and then said, oh, wait, their body's moving down.
Yours is the continuation.
You know what I say?
Wrong.
You know what I say? I say you ask the people.
Well, we got to see how it ends first.
Yeah, I just don't even know.
Yeah, that's right. And mine hasn't even come up yet.
And Bull, are you ready?
Bull has them winning. I mean, suddenly Bull is Mr. Positivity.
Not this week.
Oh, you're picking them to lose.
Let's take it.
I am.
Wow, this is the first time you've done that.
Yeah. Holy sh! Jackson runs all over helpless Brown.
He just said, "Let me just go vulgar."
So cool.
Son of a!
I love the speech balloons. Not my coverage. Not again.
I have
Anthony. Well done, brother.
I have been the most. Before you go, Tyvis as a headline too. It's my favorite graphic Anthony's made in the 6 months we've been doing this. So
let's see it.
Teaser for everyone else coming up.
We're
He's going to do it later.
Hold it when Tyvis comes on.
Oh, okay. DeQuell, you'll have to stick around on the stream then.
Guys, I have been more positive about the Browns than anybody, even as they've struggled. But I hate this matchup. They can't. I know last week they did a decent job against the run. They actually did a decent job against the run. Outside of that one touchdown run by Ramondre for like 30-something yards. But
you in our chat, you said that they let him score. I disagree with that.
No, that was later.
Oh, that was the second one.
He had one legit run earlier.
Yeah, that
second one. I was just saying. I didn't say they definitely let him. I'm saying if they did, it was smart.
No, I just think they were that bad.
You're probably right.
I don't think they were thinking to let him score.
Probably right. Even though it made sense to let him score.
Well, yeah, you're going to
got to have the ball.
But now you're down 2 scores.
Right, but you had to have the ball. You were down 2 scores anyway because you were already down 9.
You were down, and then you were down 3 scores. Because they kicked the extra point to go up.
No, but it was 16.
Yeah, but okay, so I always say
2 touchdowns and 2 2-point. Yeah, but you still got to score 2 touchdowns either way.
Right.
But at least you have the ball back. But however, I hate this matchup. And the Browns have had their moments against Lamar, but usually it's when he throws a lot of picks. I think, obviously Andrews is a threat and they will use him. And I don't think the Browns have anybody to stop Andrews. And I don't think the Browns have anybody to stop Lamar. I got no faith that JOK, even if they say to JOK, hey, you're on Lamar, the way he's played this year, I just got no faith that he's going to be able to do it. And I have zero faith that all we've talked about for an hour is Joe Woods has to be creative in this game to beat Lamar Jackson. Is there any indication after 2.5 years that Joe Woods is going to be creative? There's none. So how can I believe that's going to happen?
And I want to just say this to everybody: if you're going to get on TV, because I'm sick of hearing it. If you're going to get on TV, you're going to write these articles, talk about it ain't going to do no good. You're basically telling us you don't understand locker room dynamics. You don't understand football, and you're not understand. It's time out for just saying. That's like saying you got things that are wrong with your organization, and it's unexcusable for any person in charge to say it's not going to do any.
When's the last time the Browns made a firing in season?
Well,
it was Hugh Jackson, and the team played great.
Greg Williams took over.
Great, strong. The team played much better after he got fired.
Did Freddie get fired midseason?
No.
He made it through the whole season.
Hugh Jackson got fired. Greg Williams took over. Then Freddie Kitchens was offensive
Normally, I would say that, and I would say let's trust and see who we can, where we can go forward. What's the most egregious thing you have seen on the Browns football field this year?
A lack of hustle.
The lack of communication to me.
Busted plays over and over. People not knowing what to do.
You want to know what it is to me? The most unbelievable thing, because we've seen a pile of crap on the field. the most egregious, unforgivable, unthinkable thing I've seen on the field was Kevin Stefanski being surrounded by Jimmy Haslam's grandkids.
Yeah, doing it again.
Right as the onside kick was going on against the Jets.
What?
That's true.
You haven't seen that picture?
That's true.
No, I haven't seen that.
Do we have it still?
Possibly, what were they doing?
Mikey.
They were
celebrating that win?
So you know at the end of the game how they showed Jerry Jones and he's down there and Arthur Blank and they're shaking hands and they're getting ready for the win? Well, there was 2 minutes to go. They were up 2 scores. So the owner comes down, gets some FaceTime. Let's shake some hands. Let's get on camera.
It's ridiculous. The whole family affair with the son-in-law who doesn't know what the hell he's doing.
He's running
being
the
part of the front
organization.
office. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
So you've got literally, and I guess we're not going to show the picture because they're kids.
Yeah.
But it's been confirmed. They are, I think there's 3 or 4 of them. And Jason Lloyd, who works for The Athletic, said,
they're not spoiled at all.
Yeah, they are absolutely, definitively Jimmy Haslam's grandkids. They are literally standing. They could touch Kevin Stefanski.
I'll text you the picture, DeQuell.
The game is going on.
You got to keep your head in the game at that point. I've never seen that before.
By the way, you know what's really sad is that Jay asked the question, "What's the most egregious bad thing?" and we all had different answers.
And there's 10 things that could have been mentioned.
Yeah, that's
to
sad.
me, the one thing that I will, and that's not the fault of the coach, the players, the coordinators. That's the owner. And that's why it's hard to be optimistic about where we're going.
It speaks to the culture. That's what it speaks to, right? Certain things we're not doing that. Championship teams are not doing that. We're not doing that. That's not what we're doing here.
Can you imagine Belichick being surrounded by Robert Kraft's grandkids while they're blowing a 14-point lead?
Well, he is surrounded by his own kids.
Last thing with DeQuell. DeQuell, live reaction, check your phone.
They're adults.
DeQuell, check your phone. We'll get some live reaction to DeQuell seeing the picture.
Take a look at that picture.
And then we got to let him go and talk Guardians.
Gosh. Yeah. Wow.
You ever seen or heard of anything that crazy?
No. That's see, again, it's not the coach's fault. You got to have more respect for the man at work. You know, it's like, I get the kids, but there's someone needs to hey, let's wait until the game is over. You can congratulate them when the game is over. And this was the Jets game, so that ended up being a debacle. I remember seeing it. I was there. It was embarrassing.
That was right. That picture was taken right after or before the onside kick. That is a real-time meltdown picture, and I don't blame the kids. Kids are going to do what you let them do.
Right.
If you're the owner of the team and you've got your grandkids on the field, which first of all, I think that's a mistake.
No, but if they're going to be on the field, they should be in like the corner of the,
and they
way on, not next to the
they're
coach.
next to Kevin Stefanski.
Oh my God!
Right, it's bad optics.
That's crazy.
It's a horrible
really bad optics.
The problem is,
and when you're losing, everything is over magnified, and this is bad optics. But you wouldn't see this.
It speaks to you don't understand the rules here
of engagement.
The rules of engagement here, right? This is not for play. We're not doing it for play. We here working, right? Come see me after the whistle go off. Then we can. But we're not doing that during the game. But the kids don't know, but I mean,
I don't blame the kids.
It talks to the atmosphere.
They're little kids. This has nothing to do with them. It's Jimmy Haslam.
Kids are going to do what you let them do.
The atmosphere is like, that's a no-no. Everybody in the building knows it's a no-no.
It shows a lack of respect for on Jimmy's part.
For everybody.
It shows a lack of respect for Kevin Stefanski and the sidelines. We're in the middle of a game that, yes, we were up 14 a minute ago, but they just got the ball back after an onside kick. And you got your grandkids are right next to the coach.
Let me here. I can speak to some relation to this. When I got traded to the Minnesota Timberwolves expansion team, right? The owners, when we hit the road, they would fly friends and family.
Oh Lord.
On the plane with us to get to games.
Which makes you feel like you're a rich person's toy.
This was crazy.
It's your business, and they're making you feel like it's a toy.
We're on the chartered plane. I'm like, this is crazy, right? Because they could not separate, and that's why the Timberwolves were awful for a long time, right? Because they couldn't separate. This is not a toy. This is work. We're here working.
It's a business.
This is what this is.
And unfortunately, that episode is akin to the Browns owners' grandkids surrounding the coach while the building is burning.
Right.
Thanks, DeQuell.
Yeah, DeQuell, you're the best.
He was on for an hour.
Guys,
thanks, buddy.
Good to see you.
Have a good weekend.
Appreciate you.
Cheers to my water.
All right, D.
Very good. All right, very good.
12's the
so you two picked them to win.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, unless Tyvis also picks them to win.
You'll see.
We'll see. You think he's the winner of the headline contest?
If the Browns win,
If
I'm
the
sure
Brown-
Tyvis picked them to win.
You'll see.
Okay.
I don't know. His headline's great. His headline's not great. The graphic. Anthony wins the graphic. Put it that way.
Okay.
Yeah,
And Tyvis will not win the headline.
No credit for Tyvis. The credit goes to Anthony.
Tyvis has a very specific headline. So
Yeah.
if it happens, he wins. But Anthony's graphic for this is elite. So
Okay.
Okay.
let's talk
done,
about Guardians though. We got 10 minutes till Tyvis hops on.
Yeah,
Let's talk
who do
about
we
Guardians.
want? We threw some names out earlier.
Well, yeah.
About what we think this team should do. I think we can all decide right now that they're not going to spend boatloads of money. They're not going to be in. They're not going to sign Rizzo. There's some big name free agents that are available.
Rizzo has an option. I'm sure he'll stay with the Yankees.
I would be
think.
stunned if he left.
At this point.
So,
I wish he would leave because I hate him being on the Yankees.
Yeah,
but,
I do too.
I'd much rather be on the Guardians.
I would say this, that anybody watching has to like. If you're a player, you have to like what's going on here. Now you might not like the remuneration that comes with playing here, but you have to like what they're doing, right? The thing I think we need a big bat.
Yes.
Behind Ramirez.
Biggest bat.
We need a big bat. Right?
do.
Gonzalez is great, but I need a big bat right here. We have to shake it up, and I think you have to get in the market. Now, the question is, a big bat costs you big money.
Yeah.
Well, unless it's an
could.
older player, and that's why I suggested Jose Abreu.
That he's number one on my list.
Because
he's 35.
Now, certainly Rizzo, if Rizzo did become a free agent, I would rather him than Abreu.
I would too, but he's going to be more expensive.
He will be, but you could probably sign to a like a 2-year deal. Even if you have to pay him more.
You know what? I might have co-signed that before the playoffs. He's hit some big home runs for the Yankees in the postseason.
Agreed.
I mean, so
but you know what?
That's going to ratchet up his value.
With his playoff experience.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And let's trust me, I'm very happy with Abreu. I love Abreu. But Rizzo has more playoff experience.
Yes, and he's younger.
He's a lefty who can hit lefties. He's a clutch hitter, and he's a great fielder.
How old is he though? 33.
At the oldest.
I'm
not sure.
Look, I would
He's
love to have.
He's younger than Abreu.
He is younger than Abreu. Abreu, I think, is 35. I would love to have Abreu.
Rizzo's 33, by the way.
That's what I thought.
As what Bull said, elite defensively.
I mean,
Gold Glove caliber.
think about
100%.
You already have a great defense with the Guardians.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, if you have a first baseman that catches everything.
Bull, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
What do you think the price tag is going to be for Rizzo? Will it be? I think he'll get 5.
I don't think he's going to get that many years. Now,
I do.
You're right. If it's 5
because
years,
there's always some.
But he didn't get it last year. He had to sign like kind of a.
And I was surprised, but that was because the free agency thing after
That's true.
COVID.
Yeah, fair.
And the whole offseason last year was wonky.
I think you. Listen, you're right.
I think he's 5.
He's probably
going to
cost
130.
I was thinking he's more like. I was thinking he was more like 3 for $70.
Wow. Listen, if that's the case, go get him.
I just
don't think you're going to touch Rizzo for that number.
I just think at 33 years old, he's not the player he was. He's still good.
I'll take him.
But he used to hit 280.
His
now
average used to be better. But you know what? I think he's a product of what the Yankees preach.
You're buying him for 3, and you're paying your premium is extra 2 thrown in, right? That's what you.
But I think somebody. See, here's what scares me about that. There will be somebody, whether it's the Padres. I don't think of the Padres because the Padres.
The Yankees more likely.
The Yankees more likely
Although they're
than
going to have to spend so much money to bring Judge back.
I know, and the Yankees also have some other free agents that they've got to address.
Right,
and Judge is obviously at the top of that list.
But in theory, if it costs you $25 million a year for Rizzo, which would be the most you'd ever spend.
Yeah.
If it was only 2-3 years, again, maybe I'm crazy to think you can get him for 2-3 years. I might be. But to me, he's the perfect. I wanted him last year.
I love him.
I think he's the perfect player for this team. He's a leader. He's a great clubhouse guy.
Yeah.
He can hit lefties and righties. He hits for power. Again, the average is not what it was, but he is one of the best defensive players at the position. So you already have 5 or 6 Gold Glove caliber players. Now you add one at first base.
They have 4 Gold Glove finalists.
No, 6.
Oh, 6? I thought it was 4.
Yep.
Oh, Bieber's on there too.
Bieber, I know he's a pitcher.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, well, he's on there. Yeah.
You got Bieber.
I mean, I'm talking everyday fielders.
Oh, it's 5. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, and I didn't count Bieber just
okay,
because.
But Jimenez, Kwan, Straw, and Ramirez.
Yes.
Rosario is probably not far off that.
No, he's not. The only thing that keeps him from being there is his range.
Right.
Yeah, and that's a tough, like shortstop and center field, which is why it's impressive that Straw's on there.
Those are the 2 hardest to win.
Those are the 2, right? They're really tough.
I need a hitting catcher too.
Yeah, that's definitely on. So
bring 2 ex-Cubs in, sign Contreras.
Let's bring it. That's
top of my list.
Master Sheets.
Conforto I mentioned too. Yeah.
Wilson Contreras is that's who I'm targeting.
Contreras is a much bigger contract than Rizzo.
Here's the thing, though. The Guardians are just coming off a season which they had 17 guys make their big league debuts. Now, some of those guys were not that great. Some of those guys, there were a couple of guys on the playoff roster that I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like the decision to put Bo Naylor on and carry 3 catchers.
Yeah.
When they still let Hedges hit way too often for my taste. Do you think that Naylor is ready? That's why I wish they would have called him up earlier.
Of course they should have called him up earlier.
I think that was the one swing and miss that they missed on. I wanted to see more from Naylor against big league hitting. The sample size is too small.
Right.
So you're going to make a calculated decision in the offseason. Either Naylor's ready now, because Hedges is gone.
Yeah.
So either Naylor is ready now, or you've got to go out and sign somebody. And Wilson Contreras at 30 years old.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to give up something defensively. I don't think he's a great defensive catcher.
He's an average defender.
He's just average. He doesn't stand out in any way. But this is what really got me hot about the postseason. Hedges, who hit 169 or whatever, was in the lineup every day because he has a great arm and he's a great defensive catcher. I think they were 7 for 8 or something.
They were still
like
in
that.
that.
No, I don't even think he has a great arm. He's just great at calling pitches.
No, he does. He hit. I don't know where he ranks.
His numbers this year were not good at throwing out runners.
Can you find out where he ranked in throwing out runners?
Yeah,
I would say he's top half.
He's great at calling pitches.
He's
great at blocking wild pitches.
You would know this better. I had this as a question I wanted to ask you, being a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Contreras, to me, doesn't stand out as a guy who can really corral a pitching staff. Guys love pitching to Hedges. That's why he's here.
Yeah.
All the pitchers love him. He calls a great game. Contreras doesn't seem to be that guy to me. Am I wrong?
I mean, he's not a guy that guys – no, he's not Hedges, right? He's not that kind of defensive player. But there are some guys, like when he first came into the big leagues, right, the Cubs had 2 veterans. They had David Ross and Miguel Montero at the time, and they were using all 3 of them.
They were.
And all 3 were on the playoff roster that year. And he developed chemistry with certain guys. I think there were other guys like for a guy like John Lester, who's a real red ass.
I was going to ask you.
It took him a while to come around.
I was going to ask you how Lester took to him because Lester's tough to pick.
At first, he always threw to Ross. That was his guy.
That was his catcher.
Right? And then eventually he would throw to Montero, who was also a veteran.
Right.
Ross is Lester's a real red ass, as you know.
He is. Yeah.
It took him a while. But he did come around on Contreras. Contreras is an average defensive player. He's not a great pitch framer.
What's his price tag going to be?
Oh, man.
I think he'll be steep, too.
I mean, he's one of the 2 or 3 best offensive catchers.
Yeah, that's why.
He's a clutch hitter.
Is he going to be out of the Guardians' price range?
I mean, now catchers usually don't get paid as much as like other players, but I think even what is he, 31?
He's 30.
30. I think he's going to get a 5-year deal.
I do too. I think he'll want one.
I mean, there's so few catchers that can hit. Like there's guys that can be okay.
The NL goes to the DH next year too, right?
No, the NL's already at DH.
Oh, this year. Okay.
Yeah.
So if he's probably got 2 years left behind the plate, I think at 32, 33, guys start looking. Yeah. Where else can I go?
I mean, listen, if the Guardians could get him, it'd be great. But I think he's like a 5-year, $100 million plus guy.
What about?
I got your Hedges response. By the way, what do you guys think? Out of 30 possible,
I thought
catchers?
upper half.
I think he was not good at throwing out runners. I think he was
14
lower.
out of 33.
Okay.
So right in the middle.
Yeah,
30% throwout rate. And Contreras was 14th at a 29.84. So literally back to back.
Okay.
Okay. So just as good there.
2 other names I wrote down.
Yeah.
Trey Mancini. He has some. I think you can play him at first base.
Yeah. I mean, he's a DH first base guy. He's not the defensive
He can also play
player.
outfield. He can't play. And Michael Conforto, I thought, is a.
Well, Michael Conforto missed all of last season.
Which is why I think he's going to end up with
cheaper.
the Guardians because he's going to be cheaper.
And the thing with Conforto is he's young. I mean, I think he's only 27, 28.
28, I would say. 28 or 29.
Is y'all what y'all doing with Straw in center field?
I would like to. I think what you do with Straw in center field on this team,
I think you keep him.
Is you keep him, but you make sure he's the only bad hitter in the lineup.
And you know what I think
That's
about doing?
That's got to be the case.
I think because they've had so much depth at outfield. Now, I can't believe I'm saying that. Last year, we're looking around. He was the only piece in the outfield that we knew was going to be an everyday player.
Right.
Now he's the question mark because you've got Gonzo in right and you've got Quan in left.
Yeah. Yep.
I would go out, and that's why a guy like Conforto would be good. I'm thinking about using Straw in a platoon situation. His average is so low, but his defense is so good.
Yeah, you bring him in late games.
And it's great to have a guy like that you can throw in as a pinch runner.
Great base runner.
And so I just don't know if I want him as my everyday center
I don't
fielder.
want him every day. I don't want Naylor every day. Naylor cannot hit lefties. It's been enough of a track record.
Yeah. I know.
I'm not getting rid of Naylor because he's really good against righties.
And there's more righties in the league than lefties.
But they need to bring in like something. This is something you can get cheap, like a right-handed hitter that just mashes lefties.
That's what they've done in the past when they've gone out and they brought Josh Donaldson
Brandon
in.
Geyer back in the day was really good.
Geyer was another one.
The kid who's in what's his name?
Encarnacion.
Yeah, right.
Well, the outfielder who's playing for Arizona now. He was just here a couple of years ago. Can't think of his name. He was another outfielder that just hits
Eric
left.
Burns?
What's that?
Burns?
No. Eric Burns has been retired 10 years.
Marcus Thames?
No.
Tim's?
No.
You're talking about this guy's still playing. You're talking about guys that have been retired 10 years. I got to look at the Diamondbacks.
I thought you was talking about.
While Bo's looking this up,
Yeah.
we have Tyvis ready.
Okay.
And I want to set this up.
By the way, one more quick thing before Tyvis. I mentioned.
Did I leave any names off? Anybody else that?
I like all those names. Jose Abreu, I think, is the most realistic.
I would
choice.
circle him as my number
pitcher,
one.
real quick. I mentioned Carlos Carrasco the other day.
Right.
Another old friend that I would take back, Corey Kluber. He's still a good pitcher.
No kidding.
He's not elite anymore, but
I wouldn't let him pitch in the playoffs.
I would. He was great in 16 before Game 7. Great.
He was great.
You do not get to the World Series without Corey Kluber.
No.
Everybody talks about Miller. Fair enough. You don't get to the World Series without Corey Kluber.
Is he cheap?
But that's going to be 7 years.
He'll be very cheap.
Is he cheap?
I know that.
He will be cheap.
But look at how he pitched this year in Tampa Bay. He was good.
I know he did.
We're talking about third, fourth starter. Carrasco and Kluber fit the bill as third and fourth starters.
Could you imagine if this team brought Kluber and Carrasco back?
I'll take him.
I will too.
I'll take him. 1 year.
No, I didn't think
1
of
year,
Corey,
10, 12, 15
but I
million.
think my personal affinity for him.
Love him. I'll bring him back.
Yeah.
So we've had Judge J segments before, and I'm going to have to play UCSS Judge. We're going to start with Tyvis's headline before we get into
Luplow, by the way.
any of the drama that
Yeah.
unfolded yesterday. So we're going to start on a high note with Tyvis's headline. Well, no, don't take it, Steve. Let's bring Tyvis in. What's up, Tyvis? Thanks for joining us, as always, on a Friday. Here he is. There's Tyvis.
Hey, hello.
Tyvis. No. We're starting with your headline.
No,
Get to the headline first, and then we'll unleash the fire of yesterday.
It has nothing to do with the fire.
Okay. Just know this is the order we're going to start happy, then we'll tear each other apart.
Listen, the only name that needs to be brought up for baseball for Guardians is Ohtani. No, Tyvis Powell, obviously, that's a given. I'm free, but it's Ohtani.
Dude,
we all love Ohtani, but
he's
we're trying to be realistic.
$40 million a year.
Would he sign a 1 year deal?
No.
Well, he's got 1 year left on his contract.
Yes,
I would give up prospects to trade for him for 1 year. I would do it.
Nope, no way.
They won't do it, but I would.
Yeah,
that's not their style, though.
No.
But go ahead.
But he is going to break the bank.
My God.
When he signs his new deal,
well,
it will
Judge
be the richest,
first, and then Ohtani.
I don't know if I bet he tops Judge.
He will, but Judge will do it this year.
Judge
and
will break the record this year. Ohtani will break it next year.
That should be one of our extra segments.
How much will he make? Go ahead.
Tyvis, are you ready for your headline?
Yeah.
Steve, let's take it.
You talking about the winner? They're talking about the winner of the week, right?
Would you like to read it, Tyvis?
You don't even need to read it.
Kicker says sinking ship.
Is a goat.
Cade York late field goal puts Browns over Ravens.
If that happens, that's a walk-off win.
That's great.
He is the champion forever.
That's good.
Flip the bat. I'm going to flip the bat on that one. Me and Anthony going to share that one.
Ain't nobody caping like that no more.
Tyvis, you going to rock the baby if you win for that one?
Nobody's arms like this.
You got to rock the baby.
I would.
That's crazy.
I definitely would.
Yeah, Tyvis rocking the baby.
Y'all see this in somebody else just did that. I think it was either in football or the NBA. Somebody did that.
After interception in the Cardinals game last night.
Yep.
Oh, someone did rock the baby?
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Thanks,
sweet.
Josh, for bringing that back. Hope we never see it.
Westbrook can't do it because he looks terrible right now.
Dude, do you know that the Lakers are 19 for 85
That's last night.
from three-point range in their first two games. 19 for 85.
LeBron going to go crazy this year. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league.
He's going to ask to be traded, and he's going to come home.
No, he's not. LeBron don't ask to get traded. One thing about LeBron is he going to honor his contract. He over it. He's simply trying to get Kareem's record and play with his son. That's it. All the ring stuff, that's over with.
He's done.
AD
He could do both of those here. He ain't winning another ring in L.A.
Their 3 through 10 is the worst 3 through 10. Their roster's horrendous outside of LeBron and Davis.
It is.
It's bad. It's bad.
I don't even watch him. Anthony Davis is hurt again.
I watched it last night.
He came to Westbrook's defense last night, which surprised me.
Well, they got
because he was 0 for 10. He was 0 for 10 shooting.
Yeah, but they got Westbrook doing things that Westbrook doesn't do. I mean,
he don't have the ball in his hands.
Westbrook is now he a guy to play off the ball. You don't even handle the ball anymore. Now you want Westbrook to be a shooter. That is not Westbrook's game. Westbrook's game is up and down guy.
0 for 10.
I like, stop playing with me, right? You got people out here looking crazy.
Kawhi Leonard looking washed too.
No, he didn't.
It was his first game back.
Well, yeah, it's early.
What are you talking about?
You know who don't look washed?
Based on 1-2 games.
Wait a minute. Y'all know who don't look washed?
Giannis.
That man that wear 34 for the Bucks.
We talked about him earlier. He was getting he got his bag off. I like what he did. He did his thing.
Bro, you running the internet through your toilet
what is going on here?
I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that.
Buy cheap, get cheated.
Tyvus running around talking about, hey, turn that phone off.
No.
Hang up.
I don't have nothing. That's the sad part.
I'm going to give you the Ohio State rule. I'm going to give you the Ohio State rule. Buy cheap, get cheated. All right?
I pay good money for internet. I got the fiber optic thing going on. I don't know why this is
allegedly.
You got scammed, bro. You got scammed.
You got to cut the line.
Maybe I should look into it.
You got the AOL dial-up.
Actually, it seems like it's getting better. Look at that.
Go back and talk to your sales rep.
Turn the lights off and the dryer.
I can see
Turn off the microwave, honey.
And tell the kids to sit down.
The pleasantries have gone long enough, guys. We have to address the elephant in the room. Take tag board, please.
Jay accused you of cheating.
Take tag board.
Yeah.
This is the back page of the UCSS headline today.
Can we go to the G. Bush allegedly after that?
Yeah, listen, I'll tell you.
You know what? I've been thinking about it. I'm going to make an apology right here. I'm not.
Oh!
Listen, I'm going to make an apology. You cannot question a man's integrity. You can't, unless you have definitive proof.
That's true.
And I don't.
Paperwork.
7-1 to me seemed
Wait a minute.
What?
You know what? The good thing about this is my man McNuggets got something for y'all to prove my innocence.
Oh,
please, wow. McNuggets, free me. Okay, thank you. This is the text message between me and him. You see the time. He says you have 3 minutes to send me the answers. So I say, boom. I get the message at 10:05. 10:06. I've responded. I'm within the 3 minutes, so there's no way. I looked up 8 questions in 2 minutes and sent it back. So therefore, the 5-time champion is in the building today. 5-time champion. Because this is the thing I don't understand.
Yeah.
When I was there Wednesday and I said, "Oh man, I won't be there," y'all said, "Oh, just send them in. You should still play."
I said you were
calling.
No, I did.
And I win. Now all of a sudden I'm disqualified because I'm not there.
You're right.
That makes sense.
No, I was the one that said that. And then when I found out that you were 7-1 before the game started, and I was,
McNuggets shouldn't have told us before.
No, he should not have told us that he was 7-1.
Hold on.
What difference does that make?
Listen,
you about to discredit him?
Here's the thing. You know, the public needs to know that this win in this election.
Yeah.
We need to know if this is up and up. Like
I can't be a true or false denier.
I can't have a Tim Donaghy involved here.
Half of our people in the chat are disillusioned with this process. So it's what we need to do. We need to make sure that this is a secure process.
Call up your search history right now.
Now I don't have anything that says, but there's some irregularities, and it's been everywhere. And and they're telling me that people are saying that your phone's connected to the internet.
Yeah.
They're saying that there's thousands of these ballots in your car.
Now, hey, Tyvus, if you
so look, hold on, wait a minute. Let me respond to that.
Yeah.
So if my internet is so bad like y'all claim it is, there's no way that I'm able to look up 8 questions in 2 minutes.
I don't think nobody.
It would have took too long.
Solid defense.
Therefore, I won. Boom.
So how many?
There it is.
Like
I said,
so let's get down to the real brass
champion.
tacks of this. How many of those did you know, and how many of them were guesses?
No, I promised on everything I love. On my 2 kids, I just guessed. He sent me 8 questions, and I true, false, true, false, true, true. That's how I sent it. Boom.
Tyvus,
I didn't even know who it was, because the difference was he didn't even tell me who the player was. I'm looking like, who is Charlie? I had no idea who the guy was. So I'm literally just
Are we
going
giving
off
him the win?
So
I don't buy some lottery tickets. We're giving him the win.
Not cheat.
We're
He
giving him the
definitely did
win.
not cheat.
And I
think
apologize publicly for calling him a cheater. That was out of line.
It's all in good fun. I think G and Tyvus should be declared co-champions. That's my opinion. Because he was here live, and Tyvus did get 7, but I think we co-champions. That's my vote.
I'll split it with you. I'm not going to have my people go riot in Columbus or anything. They're not going to sit outside of your house.
Tyvus, if you pay me enough money, I'll get some fake electors for you. There you go.
Listen,
the electors.
I don't need none of that. Listen, first of all, I'm a man of integrity. I'm not going to. Why would I cheat my?
By the way,
you are.
Tyvus has no clue what we're talking about because he don't pay attention to
none.
politics.
It's he going.
He don't get any of it.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Wait,
not at all.
Someone doesn't believe that there was a real election?
Like, what do you mean?
Hey, wait, back up so we can appreciate your shirt. That's one of my favorite shirts on the market right
nice.
now.
This for Leroy. Leroy and Steve that's watching in Atlanta. This is for you, Steve.
Yeah.
What cupcake are the Buckeyes playing this week?
They got Iowa. They're 29.5.
We got Iowa this week.
They have not.
No. I just checked.
Still in the preseason.
We're 30-point favorites. So this is the thing. This is the thing about this game, okay?
Big Ten sucks, doesn't it?
Damn, I see my gray hair good on this. This is bad. But anyways,
it's not coming across on the screen over here like that. I would just tell you that.
Spreads up to 30.
It looked good on mine. The thing about this game is usually Ohio State does well off the bye week, so I'm not worried about that. But Iowa does historically play great defense. The 30 thing is going to happen because obviously Iowa's offense is atrocious. The only person that they got that's even worth mention is the tight end Sam Laporta, who's actually been a pretty good player. And, they're tight end. They're arguably tight end you. So that'll be a thing. But we got too many athletes, man. As long as they do their thing, it's over with.
Dude, Iowa scored 7 points or less in 4 of their 6 games.
They're horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, my God.
Jay, when's USC coming in here?
Yeah.
Not for another 2 years.
Man, but I can't wait because I like you.
This is
USC.
horrible.
Hey, UCLA look good too. UCLA
that's what I'm
undefeated.
talking about.
They both look good.
Hey,
That's good. We need that.
Northwestern, Illinois, Indiana, Iowa.
Illinois is good this year.
They're not.
They only lost 1.
They are.
They're not good.
They're not
they
good.
played.
They're like 6-1. What are you
They
talking
beat
about?
Iowa 9-6.
Yeah, that's out
So
of
what? They still 6. They might try to go to the Big Ten championship this year.
Yeah, and they might try to lose to Ohio State by 75.
Well, that's another story for another day.
Right.
I'm just saying.
They got about, a lot of them teams need to get X-made. They need to just like send them to the MAC. Send them right to the MAC.
Yeah, but the problem is, see, that's it. So Northwestern brings Chicago, Maryland brings D.C., Rutgers brings New York.
But I don't understand. Nobody cares about those teams in those cities.
Don't y'all be on Maryland.
But they're on the cable in New
still
York.
on TV
Yeah, that's why.
Who's
So
watching that?
But here's the deal: they have
We
to be
just
on
signed
the
a
cable,
Billy. You crazy?
and they're getting subs per household.
I guess, bro.
I've never seen in all the times I've been in Chicago. I've never seen anybody wearing Northwestern gear ever.
This is how good the SEC is. The SEC got like every 2 years they got another team that's good. This year is Tennessee's turn to be good.
It is.
A couple years ago, like Georgia,
Ole Miss was
good.
Mississippi State.
They get every 2 years Kentucky's turn, and I'm like, where they get these recruits from?
Because you're not
That kid, that number.
Cut it out. Cut it out. Because it's only 2 teams in the SEC every year that realistically got a chance to even win the whole thing.
You can't.
Realistically. Just the same way you could say that about the Big Ten. Like, I hate to put them even in this conversation, but the team up north is still undefeated and they're doing well. Ohio State's doing so. You got 2 teams in each.
Undefeated now doesn't matter if you played anybody.
Ty, it's always been the big 3. That's what it is. It's Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. You might get a rare year where Michigan State is a factor.
Wisconsin.
Maybe Wisconsin. Maybe in a very rare year, Iowa has had some good seasons, but
they're never like nationally good.
This changes in 2 years.
No, they do well in bowl games.
But USC and UCLA have been crap.
No, they've been playing good ball this year.
they're
playing good ball this year.
They're both ranked highly this year.
Syracuse is ranked. Are they good?
Oh, no, that's joke football.
We gonna find out this weekend when they go against Clemson if they drill or not.
I don't think Clemson is what they used to be.
Nah, and whoever drafts that number 5 kid from Clemson, get ready to be a bust.
Now you remember Gene Smith was like when they talk about adding a couple more teams when they brought in UCLA and USC, and he was like, no, why? Because now you're bringing in too many. You cut into the fold here, right?
You got to be careful. Ty, I'm getting the wrap-up sign from McNuggets. Apparently, he doesn't like what you're bringing today. I love it personally.
Browns win. K. York ends the losing streak. Y'all heard it here first.
All right.
Boom.
Boom, boom. I hope you're right.
See you, Tyvis.
Have a good weekend.
All right, Ty.
He got the double P
Final
sign.
takes, Mikey, or we got something else?
So we have 3.
We got to do what the internet says first.
3 headlines win, 3 headlines lose.
Perfect split.
They all going to
And
say.
we had 4-4 on
PCC.
the bet. By the way, the Ravens are 6.5-point favorites. We asked everyone to good bet, bad bet. It was 4 good, 4 bad. So we will see
6.5?
Monday. 6.5.
I said that's a bad bet, even getting 6.5. That's where I am.
We're going to read some internet comments real quick, then wrap up with some final takes. Whenever we read you internet comments, it's brought to us by our good friends at PCC Airfoils. Bull has a long jingle today I'm not going to forget about. Looking for a job with career advancement and great benefits? PCC Airfoils is the leading manufacturer in Northeast Ohio. All locations of PCC Airfoils at Eastlake, Mentor, Wickham, and Minerva are hiring for all positions starting at $18 up, plus full benefit packages, paid time off. I don't even need the thing to read anymore. I'm just reading off the top of the head.
Bull has lyrics.
I have my lyrics.
He has lyrics for the jingle ready to go.
Apply online at precast.com/careers to learn more. Bull, the floor is yours.
You know I can't smile without PCC. I can't smile without PCC. I can't laugh and I can't sing. I'm finding it hard, everybody, to do anything. You see, I feel sad when PCC's sad. I feel glad when PCC's glad. If PCC only knew what I'm going through. I just can't smile without PCC.
That's the longest one you've ever done.
White chocolate.
White chocolate. G. Bush is shell-shocked right now.
Bro, that was.
I busted out the Barry Manilow right there.
I know you did. I did not see that coming.
1978 Barry Manilow, baby.
What was that?
I didn't see that coming, Bull.
The internet says that's a smashing hit, Bull. Bravo, sir. Bravo. A couple
I want to
comments
see him
we have to read
at
here.
Playhouse Square.
Yeah, that's right.
Bull
A
sings the
one-man
hits.
show.
Bull sings the hits. I want to see that in lights at
I would pay
Playhouse
a good
Square.
money.
Oh,
Maybe
my
as
God.
Maybe as a membership-only segment when we get to that. I'll have Bull just sing songs, and that's behind a,
Bull, he takes requests.
I do.
Bull takes requests.
I
All
do,
right.
absolutely.
We did ask the internet some questions. We got some super chats today. Spoony Images says, we'd love for you guys to do a watch party with some of these classics. So maybe when we start watching and reviewing, we could.
I think we're going to do that, right? Some watch parties?
I hope so.
Who has seen the original Longest Yard movie, by the way?
I have. Burt Reynolds?
Yeah.
I have actually seen that. I have. That's one.
that's
You have? Gee, you haven't seen the original Longest Yard? Oh, you have. Okay.
Yeah. I like the remake of that, too. The
I do,
remake was
too.
good,
That's good also.
But
And then here's the comment, and shout out to everyone who watches. Like, subscribe. Please hit the notification bell, subscribe. This is from Jorge, and this is testimony. We should just put this as our business card, hand out to people. This is from Jorge. He says, I love this show. You guys are killing it, and you seem to be having so much fun. I wish I could just sit and talk Cleveland sports with you guys every day. Even my 11-year-old son loves you guys, too. And Jorge, we don't just love you. We love your 11-year-old son, too.
That's right.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks,
for
Jorge.
making us part of your day.
We love him in like a plutonic, just cool.
Like the nephew sense.
In an appropriate
The
way.
nephew sense. Yeah, the very appropriate way.
Yeah.
I had a young lady, probably 30s, early 30s, tell me recently that she's not a sports fan. Her husband's a big sports fan, and her husband watches it every night when he gets home from work. And she said, I just chalked it up to another one of those sports things that my husband watches.
Yeah.
And she said, I hear him at the computer laughing and laughing and laughing
Nice.
and having a good time. And so I asked him, what are you watching? And he told his wife, the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. She said now she's so hooked on the show that she'll watch it before he gets home from work
Nice.
to know where the punchlines are.
Yeah.
And so that's obviously what we want to hear. The amount of feedback that we've been getting has been tremendous. We appreciate all of it.
We just
Of course, there are people that hate it or hate me or hate somebody or
course.
opinion.
That's how it goes.
Hate's a strong word. I hope nobody hates anybody, but
We're just some regular Cleveland guys. I mean, it's like we're just sitting around here talking. That's all it is. I mean, we ain't even really like working. I mean, it's like we're just having a good time.
But we do have a good time.
But the thing is,
it's
because
fun as hell.
the one thing that's common, we love being here.
Absolutely.
We love
Yeah.
the topics. And then I think we're just reflective of the people. When I go to the gym at night, I'm at Lifetime at night. Man, there must be 10 people stopping. Let's talk about the
Right.
Yeah.
What y'all talking about on the
today?
show, man?
Yeah,
I think the most surprising thing is that Brad has to go to a gym, doesn't
Yeah.
have his own fancy gym in his house.
No.
Sometimes you got to get. You just want to get
Gotta be
out.
out with the people.
Gotta see people.
Yeah.
You gotta be out
Last
with the
thing from the
people. That's
internet,
true.
and then we'll do final takes real quick, but
Yeah.
Ward and Teller officially ruled out for Sunday.
And Teller.
No.
That's from Mary Kay Cabot.
Yeah, this about to get ugly.
Wow.
Is Clowney playing?
Yeah, Clowney's
Clowney
playing.
is. Oh, I thought he was. He practiced.
According to the official report from Mary Kay 3 minutes ago, Ward, Teller, and Haig out, questionable, Clowney and Rochelle.
Yeah, he's going to.
I think he's going to go.
He did practice the last 3 days.
Yeah,
he's
that's
gonna-
why I just
If
kind
you
of
practice every day, you usually play.
You usually do.
All right, Bull, final takes. Start us off.
Oh, here we go. So this morning, I can be very silly, but I promise you I'm not being silly. I'm being very serious here. And I'm not saying that sarcastically. I really am. This morning I was listening to an interview. I'm not going to say what it was. And they were actually, it wasn't even an interview. They were just talking with this guy, and he was a veteran. He was a Vietnam veteran, and he was talking about his VA benefits and stuff. And, you know, I thought about this. Nowadays, whenever I get on a plane, right, like I'm sure you've all noticed this, you get on a plane, and right in the beginning they announce, any active military, thank you for your service, blah, blah, blah. We throw around thank you for your service so lamely now. Like, it's meaningless when people say it, and that shouldn't be meaningless. I think about all these people, mostly men, certainly back in the day, but obviously in more recent times of battle, there's been women as well. But these people that have gone to war, especially the people that have volunteered, I know I would never do that. I'd be scared as crap to take a gun and go fight people. But there are a lot of people that chose to fight for this country, and they don't get the respect that they deserve. They come back to a country that does not take care of them. And I'm not pointing blame any which way. All I'm saying is the powers that be better figure this freaking thing out. There are way too many homeless veterans. This is crazy. These people have put their lives on the line every freaking minute. There's still some more World War II vets kicking around. Vietnam, Korea, the Gulf, Afghanistan, all these wars. We're sitting here arguing over sports. People are arguing over politics and other crapola. This is real life. These people have put their lives on the line, and they come back, and often they get forgotten, lost in the cracks. They're dealing with PTSD. Often they're because of the manly nature of their job, they're afraid to get therapy, go to psychiatrists and stuff like that. I heard this guy talking about, it took me 20 years to finally go get help. Thank God I finally did. So I implore any veterans out there, please go get help, because what you've been through is horrible. And the fact that this country doesn't take care of these people is a freaking disgrace, and it's a stain on all of us. Do better.
Well
said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Very well said.
All right, swing it. Thank you. The NBA season tipped off the other night, and I'm looking for a very upcoming, beautiful season. Obviously, this year probably looks like February, late February, early March. LeBron, if he stays healthy, will surpass Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the league's all-time leading scorer, a record stud for the last, I believe, 30-plus years in this league. But I'm going to bring it closer to home. If you did not see the Cleveland Cavaliers realignment and with new uniforms and new members of the team the other night in Toronto, you missed a treat, because even though we were shorthanded with Darius Garland getting hurt, I want to tell you that the product that was put on the floor on Wednesday was very energetic. I was very pleased to see this young talent coming together. I really wanted to see how Donovan Mitchell looked in a Cavalier uniform and playing with these guys that he barely knows. He's only been here a short period of time. But the energy, the effort, the things that you want to see out of a young team that makes us perhaps a formidable team in the Eastern Conference, which is probably the toughest conference in the NBA this year, I think bodes well for the Cleveland fans. I'm looking for a very delightful season because the talent we have here, I don't think has been around here in these parts since LeBron and the championship run. We have a legitimate chance to be contenders in the Eastern Conference, and I will tell you, if you enjoyed watching them on the road play in an energetic arena in Toronto, that is going to be the atmosphere the Cavaliers receive on the road this year, just about everywhere you go. No longer will it be a surprise when we walk into the place. There's surprises. Now they have circled you. If you did not know, the Cavaliers were, I believe, the most searched team on the internet just maybe the last month. So people have us circled and now know that we're in the building, and we now know that we have expectations to fulfill. I'm hopeful that everybody stays healthy and gives us a run to make us a 3-sport town, right? Guardians did well. Hopefully the Cavaliers continue to do well. And I'm always hopeful that the Cleveland Browns will get their act together at some point in time.
It'd be fun to have all three of them up there at once.
You know, I want to talk to some people out there. A lot of people, since I've been doing this show, have come up to me and say, man, G. Bush, man, it's crazy, man. How did you get on? How did you just, you move yourself and now you're an Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show. I see you doing all these other things, man. How did it happen? I'm trying to get on. I want to do it. And I always tell people the same thing. You know, I always go back and remember when I was an intern, just like 13 years ago. And I remember being over at ESPN Cleveland, and I remember getting up at like 5 in the morning, not really having no gas, and making that decision of, okay, should I put $5 in my gas or I'm going to eat? And I'm like, nah, I got to put this money in the tank. So I would come up here, put the stage up, because they would do a pregame show. And I just remember being to myself saying, always remember this. Like, at that point in time, I was the lowest of the low. Like, I wasn't even on the air. I was just putting the tent up. I was just putting stage up. And I did that for a whole year. And I remember telling myself at the end of it, like, that I would get a job. I thought I was like, yeah, I'm in there. I'm about to get this job. And that never came. And when that happened, I learned something very valuable. And it was, you always got to work like you still putting the stage up, right? Like, sometimes you look around and people will say, man, Bull is killing it, man. I see Jay and I see all these other people. And I always tell them, like, if you want to get on and you want to do something, you got to work harder than them. And that's kind of hard. Like, that's kind of hard. These cats is moving around. They got another job. When Brad leave here, he leave and go run a whole city. So these guys got multiple podcasts, Jay on the news. Man, everybody got all these different hustles. So all the people ask me how you get on. And I said, bro, you got to work like you ain't never been on. And sometimes they ain't got to do certain things, right? They running a race, but they didn't put that work in. So they at the end of their race. They moving. They done already put them stepping stones in. So even though I come on this show and I try to do what I can, I always got to learn. I got this sense of urgency. Like, listen, I can't chill like that. I gotta get it all the time, because at the end of the day, that's the only thing that's gonna help you get in this game. And now it's different. It's all about what you can do by yourself. Can you edit? Can you copy? Can you do, you know? And I never tell nobody no. It's to a point where people say, yo, can you come in my spaces? And I'll say, yeah. I had to slow down on it because I told everybody yeah. Because I told my mom, I said, yo, I ain't never telling anybody no. Every time you turn the TV on, you got to see G. Bush, and that's what it is. And that's where it's going to be at. But my thing to everybody else out there is, yes, you can make it. You can make it just like I made it, right? But you got to be willing to lose a lot of people along the way. My dream started 13 years ago and 3 ex-wives ago, or 3 girlfriends ago, or 3 buddies ago, or you know, 3 cars ago, right? You lose a lot of stuff on the way to your dream. But at the end of the day, when you get there and you look around and you look at the top, you ain't gonna stop. You're gonna keep going, and you're gonna help people up, and you're gonna help give people else the game. I love to see cats like Earl get on. I love Anthony on. I like seeing people when McNuggets pull up and they like, oh, that's McNuggets. I love that. And the reason I got so much love for that is because they doing exactly what I did back in the day. They in here early and often. So if you want to get on, you can, but be prepared for that long haul, because it's worth it if you can ever get there.
Well said.
Real quickly, I only got a minute. So Stephen A. Smith has the best hustle game of anybody I've ever seen in my life. Same attitude as you. Never tells anybody no. He's always available. Man works harder than anybody I've ever worked with. And that's saying something, because Skip Bayless never takes a second away from work either. But Skip Bayless, or Stephen A.'s hustle is the best I've ever seen, and you're in the Hall of Fame of hustle. And that's why you're sitting in that chair. Quickly, I watched the game last night. The one thing that stood out to me was the Cardinals and the Saints were in the same place the Browns, 2-4. I said, this is 2 struggling teams. It's going to be who wants it the most. There was a point in the game where Kyler Murray was upset with his head coach, Cliff Kingsbury.
Oh, yeah.
And he let him have it. He's yelling at him. It was a heated discussion. I want to see some of that fire from our 2-4. That's all I've got. We're out of time. Enjoy the game. Don't forget the post-game show. It's on at the 2-minute warning of Sunday's game. We're back Monday. Right. They need this one. I know it's not a must-win, but it feels like a playoff game. If they don't win it, it's a long, long second half of the season. Enjoy the weekend.